watching Yes.
There's a good look at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx as the Yankees get set for Game 2 of the 3-game series with the Kansas City Royals. You're watching BP All Access, presented by Audi on this very special day around Major League Baseball. On this date, 78 years ago, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Today, baseball celebrates the life and legacy of Jackie. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz and welcome to BP All Access. We are excited about a new season of All Access, and what better way to start it off than with the captain, Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron, you and everyone around Major League Baseball will be wearing 42. What does it mean to you to be able to wear that number?
Wow, Meredith, thanks for having me. It's everything. You know, I know I wouldn't be able to put on this uniform or play the game that I love if it wasn't for Jackie and, you know, everything he went through to get us to this point. It's just incredible. It's a humbling honor. It's a day that, you know, everybody around the league, you know, getting a chance to wear 42, that we're all in this together. It's a special moment.
Now, the Yankees social media team does a great job with their question of the day. And back in March, you were asked, who would you like to go to dinner with, past or present? And you said Jackie. What would you ask him?
I'd ask him a lot of questions, you know, from baseball stuff to off the field stuff, you know, really just, I think the biggest thing was his mental toughness. You know, this game is hard enough, you know, and to deal with what he did, you know, during the games, away from the field, traveling, and then to still go out there and perform the way he did and be so inspiring and, you know, have his legacy still live on till this day and beyond. It's just incredible. You know, he's one of a kind of human, and yeah, I'd have a lot of good questions for him.
Now, I know you know a lot of the good restaurants in the city. Where would you take him?
Ooh, we go to some good Italian. Emilio Bellatos, that'd be a good spot to go.
I like that. Now, obviously, he's a huge part of American history, and yesterday you were named captain of Team USA for the upcoming WBC. Just how much are you looking forward to putting on that jersey and representing USA?
It's you know, my whole life I've always wanted to play for Team USA. Never got that opportunity as a kid, you know, but now getting a chance to play for Team USA and the WBC, be the team captain, it's an incredible, humbling honor. You know, I look back at some of the guys that have played for Team USA before. I look back to the captain last year, Mike Trout, you know, the greatest player I've ever seen play. It's incredible. You know, we're going to put together quite a squad. We're going to have some fun out there, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, but we got an important season ahead of us.
Well, when I talked to Clark yesterday, he said he's already in the ear of Andy Pettitte. Guys in that clubhouse are trying to campaign. Do you think you're going to see some other Yankees on that roster?
I hope so. You know, we got a great squad. I know Austin Wells, Anthony Volpe, Clark Schmidt, a lot of guys would love to have them, you know, wearing the USA, and you know, we'll see how this shakes out. Now,
Clark also said as soon as he saw you yesterday, he called you Captain America. Are you digging the nickname?
We'll take it. We'll take it for now. I like it.
Well, what do you think of this? We've got a little mock-up of Captain America. I don't know if it's going to come up.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it works.
A bit much or just enough?
Just enough. Just enough. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see you play in the WBC next year. As far as this team is concerned, you have proven this season that you guys can absolutely mash the baseball. 32 home runs over the course of the first 16 games. That is a franchise record. What have you learned about this offense early on?
Just the depth of the offense. I feel like up and down the lineup, you got guys all the way down the 7, 8, 9 hole that can leave the ballpark or have a tough at-bat for you. And I think that's what makes this team so successful is we're able to really wear down a starting pitcher. You know, we go back to last night against Seth Lugo, a guy we've faced last year, faced him in the postseason. You know, he was an all-star, you know, one of the best right-handed pitchers in the game, and we were able to kind of wear him down there and get a couple big homers late into the game. So it's just impressive to see this. You know, you got a guy like Goldschmidt also in the middle of our lineup who can continue to hit, you know, at an amazing rate, man. It's been fun to watch him from afar, and now seeing him up close do this, it's something special. 4
solo shots for the team yesterday. The first guy we saw was Jazz Chisholm Jr., and he's been telling me since spring training he wants to be an MVP this year, and he wants to go neck and neck with you in home runs and stolen bases. And Aaron, right now, he has a little bit of an edge.
He's got an edge. You know, you got to set the bar high. You know, I'm going to continue to push him. I think that's what it's all about. You know, it's friendly competition. You know, we want the best for each other. You know, like he's been saying it all spring, he wants to be an MVP, and, you know, to be an MVP, you got to show up every single day, and that's what he's doing. You know, so I'm hoping for more of what I saw last night out of him, and I'm going to catch him on the stolen bases. Just give me a chance.
What type of personality does he bring to this team?
It's a fun personality, great energy, and especially when you're playing 162 games. It's a long season. There's a lot of ups and downs, but when you have a guy that constantly has a smile on his face, he's always bringing joy and fun to the game, it just kind of helps pick you up a little bit.
And you look at your leadoff guy in Ben Rice, first in the league in hard hit percentage, barrel percentage. Just how impressed have you been with him to start the season?
Oh, it's been fun. You know, we saw a change coming into spring training. You know, the guy, everybody was saying he bulked up a little bit, put on some weight. But what I noticed was just his approach, his at-bat. I feel like everything was a little simplified. He's a guy that he's always had the power, always had the swing, but I think he just kind of fine-tuned a little bit to where now pitchers don't know where to go. You know, they may get him out one way the first at-bat, but the second at-bat, you know, they're not able to do that. So it's just been fun to watch him hit in front of me. It's, you know, I'm seeing 7, 8, or 9 pitches, or he's hitting a homer on the first pitch. You know, I'll take both of those. So it's just excited for his year this year and excited to see what happens.
Hey, let's take it to the outfield. Jason Dominguez with some unbelievable catches last night. What have you thought of his growth in the outfield?
It's incredible. This is what we all thought was going to happen. You know, he was putting in the work all spring training. You know, I know he probably people got on him a little bit in spring for a couple missed balls, but man, he's a hard worker. You know, there's a lot of things that people didn't see that he was doing early before camp would start, late after camp, that, you know, leads to great plays like we saw last night. So I'm hoping, you know, to see some more of this, and, you know, he's a big part of this team, you know, defensively and offensively.
Well, I think fans are hoping they see a lot more strikeouts from Max Fried. Last time out, absolutely outstanding in Detroit. What has impressed you?
He's a competitor. You know, I've seen it from facing him for so many years. You know, he goes out there and he's got this almost like he flips a switch when he gets on the mound, because in the clubhouse around us, he's a great guy. He's a great teammate. You know, just in the short amount of time been around him, he's always asking questions. He's always trying to help the other pitchers and even the hitters. But yeah, he was on in Detroit, and I'm looking forward to him doing it again tonight. It's just, it was a reason why we went out there and got him. You know, he's one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game for quite a long time, and we're lucky to have him in pinstripes.
Hey, he works quick too, and I'm sure the defense appreciates that. I know we're running out of time here on BP All Access, so we're going to quickly go around the bases with Aaron Judge. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Favorite ballpark to hit a home run in, not named Yankee Stadium?
Ooh. Fenway is always fun.
Just because of the crowd, the boos you receive?
The boos, the Yankee fans that show up, seeing the pinstripe jerseys jump up and down. It's just always, I love playing at Fenway. It's electric. You know, the crowd, they get on you, which that's what you, just because of the history, it's fun to play there.
Go-to pregame meal?
Ooh, chicken and pasta. Just something easy, simple. Get a little protein, get some carbs to kind of fuel you, and, you know, get out there and go.
Who's the best dressed on this team? Because I know you guys have the camera coming in, walking into the stadium every day.
Ooh. I would say Max Fried. I've been really impressed with his game so far. He's definitely at the top of my list right now.
Now, there are several people around the Yankees organization that are attempting to become food influencers. I know you've seen it. Wells ranks burritos. Kay eats tendies. If you were a food influencer, what would be your shtick? What would you try to rank?
What would I rank? I got a sweet tooth, so I'd probably do like the sweets, Judge's sweets. Who knows? Yeah, I can't match the Wells burritos or the K Eats tendies, but you know, we'll do something sweet. We'll go something sweet. They're going savory.
It is something. Talking about something sweet, big off season for you. You became a first-time father. How is Miss Nora, and how is it being a girl dad?
Oh, it's incredible. You know, getting a chance to play for the Yankees is such a great honor, but you know, getting a chance to be a father has been incredible. Getting a chance to see my wife Samantha continue to grow from my girlfriend to my wife to now a mom has just been an incredible journey. So blessed to have her in my life, and excited to see little Miss Nora kind of grow up.
Well, congratulations. We're excited to see her grow up, and we're excited to watch you throughout the course of this season. As always, thank you for the time, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick step aside here on BP All Access. When we get back, we'll have our first Mayor on the Move of the season. Aaron, a little fishing in Tampa. I'm sure you've done that before with Tino Martinez when we get back.
Yankees batting practice today is presented by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Hey everyone, Meredith Morakovitz, and welcome to this week's Mayor on the Move. As you can see, we are at the marina, we are on a boat, and we are still in Tampa Bay. You'll never guess who's going to join us this week. Tampa Bay legend, Tino Martinez.
All right, let's go fishing.
Let's go. Tino, you grew up in the Tampa area. How often would you get on the water when you were growing up?
When I was younger, my dad would take my brothers and I have two brothers. We'd go out to the Tampa Bay here and just try to fish for trout back then. The worst part about it was getting up at 4:30 in the morning because you wanted to get here at 5 o'clock to get started.
Do you appreciate it more now than you did as a kid when your dad forced you to wake up at 4:30 in the morning?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I don't mind waking up now. You know, I'm older now. I get up early and, you know, being on the water in itself is just so much fun.
Seems like totally different than your in-season baseball life, especially when you were with the New York Yankees, where a ton of people, eyes on you at all points in time, I imagine.
Yeah, you're right. I had the best of both worlds because, you know, I got to play for obviously the greatest organization and the fanfare that playing with the Yankees brings throughout the season, and then going through those years and winning a World Series and parades and all that. After all that's said and done, to come back home to a place like this here and relax and fish, and there's very low key is a great balance for myself, and that time in my career was awesome.
I imagine everyone here knows who you are too, though, and they know you played for the New York Yankees, you won a World Series.
Anywhere you go around here, Clearwater or Miami, there's so many New Yorkers everywhere, so they recognize every single Yankee player, no matter where you go. They're going to recognize you, and, you know, obviously thank you for the years and all that, which is great. There was probably 55,000 people at the '98 World Series that day when I hit the Grand Slam, and I think I've met 3,000 people that almost caught the ball.
Really?
I was right there. I threw the beer.
We're down at spring training this year. How cool is that experience for you to be able to kind of get hands-on with some of the current players?
Yeah, it's great. All the players are coming back now to be a part of it. Ron Guidry's always there. Willie Randolph is always there. Bucky Dent. When those guys come, the current players, you know, are in awe of them. And to see their faces when they walk in the locker room, you know, Bernie Williams, it's really cool because they're just in awe to see us and they want to talk to us.
I've spoken with Ron Guidry a lot. I always say, like, who would you want to face now, right? And he's like, Aaron Judge. I'm like, how would you do? He's like, obviously, I'd get him. I'd get him. Yeah. So I'll ask you, who do you think would win, Gator in his prime or Aaron Judge?
3 at-bats. Okay, let's go 3 at-bats. I think Gator may get him once.
Yeah.
But I think Judge has a great chance to take him to the right field seat. Yes! Yes, Meredith. That's in the upper deck.
It's happening. Either that or it's a rock. We're not sure. Oh, we got a fish.
It's right over here.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
And that's it. Bye. See you, buddy. Bye.
Hey, we didn't come up empty-handed.
Where's the beer?
If you had to choose one teammate to go fishing with, who would it be and why?
I would go with Mariano Rivera because Mariano Rivera grew up being a fisherman in the Panama, and I know he would know what he's doing.
Who's one that would absolutely want no part of it?
I would probably say Paul O'Neill.
I could see him being so bored after 35 seconds that he would need to swim on shore and just get out of the boat. I know you've been out a lot in your day. What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Caught a tarpon.
Those are not small fish, Tino.
No, they're not. It was a 160-pound tarpon. It was so much fun getting out there, and when you hook the tarpon, The fight is so hard. It took me almost an hour to bring him in.
Did you ever think about, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm over this. I don't need to do this.
That was it. I did it one time, and I enjoyed the experience, but I'll go with people who want to catch one and watch them, but I would never want to catch one again.
Tino, I got one.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo!
Okay, so let's be honest, not a lot of fish, but a lot of good stories. Tino, did you have a good time?
Great time. Beautiful day out there today.
Gonna have to do it again when the fish are jumping a little bit more. But for now, we're gonna take a quick break. Plenty more BP All Access after the break.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.
Welcome back once more on BP All Access on this Jackie Robinson Day. Meredith Morakovitz alongside my colleague at the Yes Network, David Cohn. David, last night, your first time in the Yes booth this season. How nice was it to reunite with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill?
It's the best. I mean, it's like an old shoe, right? It just fits. You just slide right into it. And you can't help but take a couple shots of Michael, or even Paulie for that matter. So I'm always looking for ways to to give him the needle.
A zinger here, a zinger there. Sometimes I think Kay likes it, right?
He does. You know, he says he does, and he's Mr. Ultra Sensitive, but he knows when it's coming too.
Well, you always bring a certain charisma to the booth, a good energy to the booth, and I think you know that because the fans have seen it behind the scenes before. And David, there it is. Michael, completely uninterested. You just getting your groove on, my friend.
That was pre-hip surgery. I got a new hip now, so I've upgraded my dance.
Oh, no. What kind of dance moves now?
Yes. I'm going to get my own dance. Finally, after all these years.
Well, tonight, game 2 of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the Royals. And it wouldn't be a Royals series if you weren't in the booth. You were a young kid growing up in the Midwest, rooting for the Royals at the time. Take me back to young David Cohn growing up in Kansas City.
Well, the Royals owned the city back then. You know, when you're thinking about the mid to late 70s, back when...
Look at that. The Cohn family.
That was right in my wheelhouse. When you think about, you know, I'm the youngest of 4. I'm the one in the front, obviously. My sister's the eldest in the back. That's Crystal, Christopher, Daniel, and David. And Mom, Joan. Joan Cohn in the back. The first sabermetrician I ever met. If you want to know Joan Cohn, that's her in the back on the right. So... you know, they taught me how to love baseball. Joan Cohn especially taught me how to love baseball. Condell-Stick
Park was in the backyard. You guys used to play all the time. You said she taught you how to play baseball. Do you remember your first memory of baseball and when you actually fell in love with the sport?
I do. You know, I remember going to the Royal Stadium when it first opened up, the new Royal Stadium, and I remember trying to get Lou Pinella's autograph. Lou Piniella was a Royal back then, if you can believe that. And he signed 100 autographs. I was number 101. He had to go back in the dugout. I missed out on the autograph. I was devastated. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, I understand what he was going through.
2 things you've always said about Joan Cohn. One, that she always would say you're due based on what she had stats-wise, and she'd always keep score. When she kept score, did she ever give you an extra strikeout or two, an extra hit or two?
No, but she gave me some screams from the crowd to throw strikes. You know, she's up in the stands. She would have loved the pitch clock. Joan Cohn hated unmanageable games.
Hey, when you talk about a guy that knows how to throw some strikes, it is Max Fried. What has been your early impression of him as a Yankee?
A true ace. That's what I think. When I look at Max Fried, I think, where would the Yankees be without him right now? I mean, obviously, with Garrett Cole's injury, he steps up. He's a true number 1. He knows what he's doing out there. He loves the big stage. He wanted to come here to New York and play for the Yankees. He could have gone several other places, but he chose to be here, and I think that's an underrated facet for playing in the Bronx. You got to want to be here.
What do you think of the Yankees bullpen this year? Obviously missing some pieces, but overall.
I think Devin Williams is going to get settled in. He's too good. He has too long of a track record not to sort of fit in. As soon as the weather warms up, I think he'll get a better feel for all of his pitches. But also, I think they need some help. They need some hard throwers, and that's where I think Jonathan Loizaga will fit in. They've got a lot of guys with good trick pitches, some splitters, the airbender, a lot of guys that can make the ball move. They need some guys that can throw the ball hard again, and I think that's where Loizaga will fit in.
Well, David, unfortunately, we are out of time, and I know you need to get back upstairs to your boys, Michael and Paul, so I'll let you go. Thanks for joining us on BP All Access.
My pleasure, Meredith.
We're going to take one more time out here on BP All Access. When we get back, we will have some final thoughts as we get you set for Yankees Royals tonight in the Bronx. Access. It is time for one of my favorite parts of the show, My Yankee Way, where we hear from you, the fan, about how you earned your pinstripes. Today, we go to section 215 to hear from our friend Chris.
So I became a Yankee fan growing up when I started watching Derek Jeter, because I played baseball also growing up as a little kid, and that's when I fell in love with the Yankees, I would say. My favorite memory growing up watching the Yankees, I would say, is when Aaron Boone hit the game-winning in the Game 7 against the Red Sox, a walk-off for the World Series. That was probably my most favorite moment. My favorite player growing up, I would say, would be Mariano Rivera. That was a pitcher growing up, so I would try and idolize, his pitches on the mound. So that's why he's my favorite player. My earliest memory, I would say, is just watching him beat the Atlanta Braves in the World Series as a 9-year-old. So that was memorable, I would say. My current favorite player, I would say, is Anthony Volpe, because he plays shortstop just like Derek Jeter.
And that was My Yankee Way. If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode, email us at features@yesnetwork.com. And Chris, great choice with Anthony Volpe. He has been one of the best shortstops defensively in the American League since 2024. He ranks second, only behind Bobby Witt Jr., who will man the position for the Royals this evening. We hope you enjoyed our very first BP All Access of the season. We will be back with you on April 25th when the Blue Jays come to town. From everyone here at the Yes Network, thank you for watching us. Up next, it's going to be Bob Lorenz with the pregame. Jack Curry will join me here in the Bronx as we continue to get you set for Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Yankees and the Royals. We'll see you in just a little bit.
It's a day unlike any other for a man unlike any other. April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day, when baseball honors a true legend on the anniversary of his historic debut. And inside Yankee Stadium, the festivities are already underway for the man who broke barriers. Paul Goldschmidt, Yoendris Gomez, and the rest of the Yankees donning Jackie T-shirts while warming up this evening. The Bombers had the power to turn on in the opener, and the captain and company will take a swing at back-to-back wins as the New York Yankees host the Kansas City Royals on a Tuesday night in the Bronx. Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with you on the FanDuel Yankees pregame on a day where we celebrate one of the most influential and important figures in not only baseball history, but in American history. So with that in mind, who better to turn to for our Hyundai opening comment than the man himself, Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Jackie once said, "A life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives." Perhaps no one embodies that sentiment more than Robinson himself, who courageously and selflessly broke Major League Baseball's color barrier on this date in 1947. Wearing that now iconic number 42 on the back of his jersey, Robinson suited up for the Brooklyn Dodgers at Ebbets Field and integrated baseball that day. In the face of racism, he won the National League Rookie of the Year and went on to play 10 seasons with the Dodgers. He was easily one of the most talented players of his era. He could hit, he could run, and he could win, with the Dodgers reaching the World Series 6 times during his tenure. That included one of the most famous plays in baseball history when Robinson slid safely under Yogi Berra's tag to steal home in Game 1 of the 1955 Fall Classic as the Dodgers went on to win it in 7. Eventually, he took his rightful place in Cooperstown. And here's that Hall of Fame resume, breaking the color barrier, a Rookie of the Year, an MVP award, and a batting title. The World Series ring in 1955, 6 All-Star selections, and in 1997, his number was retired across Major League Baseball. Now, as is tradition, players, managers, and coaches will all wear number 42 tonight to honor Jackie. And when he met the media earlier, Aaron Boone talked about Robinson's impact.
Well, I think he's one of the most important figures in American history, and certainly of the last, 80 years now or so. Obviously, he was part of integrating our sport but part of further integrating America and other sports. And I think it's so cool what we get to do today, and everyone wearing 42, bringing attention to it, and just honoring what's an amazing legacy.
Do you think it's special for guys in that room to be able to wear 42?
I do. I think guys from every walk of life love it every year. And I feel like the way baseball has celebrated it over the years, it is really neat. I can still picture Rachel Robinson at Shea Stadium, in the middle of April. It's just one of those really cool days on the calendar, and cool to be a part of.
Again, everybody wearing number 42 tonight. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that Aaron Boone has penciled in, courtesy of Toyota. Yankees with 4 solo home runs last night. They have 32 for the season, plus 2 for 4 nights last night, each for Aaron Judge and Paul Goldschmidt, who are batting an identical .367. Meantime, Cody Bellinger back in the lineup. His 2 for 6 off Michael Wacha in his career with a homer and 3 runs batted in. Let's take a look at the Royals starting lineup, also brought to you by Toyota. KC with just 2 hits in last night's opener, both Bobby Witt Jr. hits, including his 2nd home run. And the Royals facing a left-handed starter tonight for only the 2nd time this season. We're going to step aside for our first break on the FanDuel Yankees pregame, but before we do, here's Marcus Stroman with some thoughts on Jackie Robinson.
Well, I think it's more than important, I think without Jackie, maybe I wouldn't be here today, I think he was a pioneer, trailblazer, someone who went through the worst conditions in order to create a path for African Americans and minorities playing this game. So I think we all need to be thankful for Jackie Robinson. I don't know if there's anyone out there who would have the courage to go through what he went through and continue to persevere and get through what he was dealing with each and every day. So I have Jackie Robinson tattooed on me. So he's someone, like I said, I'm very thankful and grateful for what he's done in this world. And without his contributions, I don't know if I'd be here today.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com.
Well, all season long here on Yes, we want to invite you viewers to show us the different ways you support the Bronx Bombers. Use the QR code on screen with a hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post pictures to social media that reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Pinstripe Pride is brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Now, before we get back to our game, let's get a quick check of the weather from Optimum.
Hey Yankees fans, I'm News 12 meteorologist Hope Aselka with your game day forecast, and the Yankees are right at home here in the Bronx. At first pitch, it's nice and mild, lots of sunshine and a bit windy at times. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s by the 7th inning. It's dry, a few passing clouds. Make sure that you got your jacket on by the end of the game. The wind will still be an issue through the night. So what's your moodcast? How does this weather make you feel? Let us know at News 12 the Bronx. Enjoy the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Hope. Meanwhile, Jack Curry is doing his pregame reporting from the stadium tonight. He's going to have a conversation with Trent Grisham in just a bit. But right now, he joins Meredith Marakovitz for her Clubhouse Report, presented by your local Ford stores.
Thanks, Bob. Welcome inside the wind tunnel that is Yankee Stadium right now. Wind blowing in case you can't see, but Jack Curry kind enough to brave some of the elements with me right now. Good pitching matchup. Max Fried opposes Michael Wacha. When you look at Fried, he was absolutely dazzling last time out. 7 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts. He's a guy that can beat you in so many ways, Jack.
Just a variety of pitches, Meredith, the ability to spot them exactly where he wants to. When he signed as a free agent, the Yankees talked about his pitch ability, and that means he goes out there and knows what pitch, when to throw it, and how to throw it. So the execution is so vital. I had the chance to talk to Vinny Pasquantino of the Kansas City Royals. He's never faced Fried. I said, what's your scouting report? What's your approach? And he laughed and he said, hope that he leaves something in the middle of the plate that I can do some damage against, but not necessarily expecting that to happen. But Meredith, Vinny's not a runner. He doesn't really steal bases, but he said the Royals also made sure they told all of their base runners, watch out, this guy's got an elite pickoff move.
Something to keep an eye out for this evening. Now, they're hoping that he leaves the ball over the middle of the plate. Yankees batters are hoping that Michael Wacha does just that. When you look at some of the guys in this lineup, they're off to pretty good starts, and I'll start with Ben Rice, leading the league in a lot of categories, hard hit percentage, barrel percentage. Pretty impressive, Jack.
Meredith, I think every baseball player probably goes into the offseason with some form of homework. Hey, we want you to get better at this. Hey, we want you to improve this. I feel as if whatever homework assignments the Yankees gave Ben Rice in the offseason, he got an A+ on all of them. He came back bigger, stronger, smarter, more confident. And if you recall, before Stanton went on the IL, Ben Rice might have had a tough time making this roster. Now he's turned himself into an indispensable hitter. As you mentioned, all of those numbers, he's hitting the ball as hard as anyone in baseball, and for the Yankees, it's a revelation, and it's so good to see.
It's wild to me, too, doing it all at the leadoff spot, somewhere he probably didn't think he was going to hit coming into the season. 5 home runs for him so far this year. And, Jack, it really does bode the question, when Stanton is ready to come back, what do the Yankees do?
That's a great question. Stanton's got to play. You have to find room for a player like Stanton, but that doesn't mean that Rice suddenly finds himself on the bench. I'm sure Aaron Boone will say that they'll find time for everyone, but Ben Rice has asserted himself to the point that he's got to be in the lineup somewhere, somehow. I'm glad that's not my decision to make. I'm glad it's Aaron Boone's.
And one guy that is the leader of this offense is Aaron Judge. As he goes, this offense goes. What's your early impression of Judge?
The reigning MVP is playing like an MVP again. And I thought last night was interesting, Meredith, because the Yankees hit 4 home runs. Judge did not hit one, but Judge reminded everyone, hey, even when I don't hit a home run, I'm still a great hitter. He had 2 scorching base hits through the middle, both over 100 miles an hour. And I think it's important when we talk about Judge to talk about the all-around aspects of him being a player, the defense, the base running, not just a great home run hitter, a great hitter.
A leader in that clubhouse as well, certainly talking to some of the younger guys. You saw Jason Dominguez with some great defensive plays in the outfield yesterday. He's back in that lineup again today. Jack, I know you have some other duties here at the ballpark, so I'm going to let you go and let you send it back to your buddy, Bob Lorenz, in the studio.
Bob Lorenz, please keep my seat warm for me. I will be back there soon, ready for the postgame.
See you, Bob.
See you, Meredith. See you, JC. You will be here for the post game in just a bit. We're going to see you again, Jack, in just a bit with Trent Grisham. Let's take another break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. And on a night when we honor Jackie Robinson, we remember a legacy that stretches far beyond the diamond, from serving in the Army to standing up for civil rights.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by EEP Law. Counsel that cares. Results that matter.
Good to have you back. Tonight's key to the game has been the Yankees' key for many games this season. 5 Bombers have at least 4 home runs, led by Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm Jr., with 6 apiece. As a team, the Yankees have 32 homers, most in the majors, and their most through 16 games in franchise history. Again, good to have you back on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. And you saw Trent Grisham on that list. Those 4 home runs have come in his last 10 games. Last season, it took him 35 games to hit that many. Earlier, Jack Curry caught up with the suddenly slugging outfielder for a deep dive into what he does in the batter's box.
Trent, there are so many things that go into a hitter deciding what bat he's going to use. We can talk about the weight. We can talk about the length, the way it feels in your hands. What are the components that are important to you to know that you've got the right bat heading into a game?
It's been pretty simple for me. I've used the same bat my entire career. It's a smaller barrel, a little bit of a flared knob, and a skinnier handle.
So when most major leaguers grip a bat, they clasp it, almost like the way you would have a fist. But you have your own distinctive way of holding a bat. I was wondering if you could show us why you keep those thumbs upward and demonstrate why that works for you.
Well, I was weak when I was younger. So the bat would just kind of dangle in my hands, and it would sit in the back of my hands, and I really just didn't have any control of it. So coach just told me, hey, put the bat in your fingertips. Just when you're taking a few swings, put your thumbs on the bat. And I liked how it felt, so I stayed with it.
I'm watching your home run last night. When you finish, the thumb is not on the handle of the bat. When you finish your swing, where do the thumbs end up?
The top one usually slides off, but the bottom one stays up. So it used to be like more of a split grip, and my thumb would stay on most of the time. But just over time, it's kind of top one just starts sliding off.
Because we're not used to seeing that, you have questions. How does it impact your bat speed? How does it impact your power? How does it impact your ability to drive the ball? What is your response when you hear those kind of questions?
Honestly, I don't really care. I'm not really interested in what it's causing or what it's doing or anything like that. It's comfortable to me, and I like it.
If a little leaguer had that grip, a coach would probably say, hey, kid, you got to change it. So when was it born for you? It was in high school with this coach?
Yeah, I think I was 14. It was the first time I did it in the cage. And I think it was that day. After that day, I just liked it and kind of just rolled with it.
So obviously it's very successful for you because the Brewers draft you in the first round. What did their organization think about the grip, and did they ever try to get you to modify it?
Yeah, I mean, after my first year in pro ball, I did my normal grip that I do now. And then after that, just kind of experimented and wanted to see what it was like switching to a normal grip. So I did that for about 2 years before I went back to it and just said I like how I've always held it, so I'm just gonna do it that way.
The motivation for going back to it was you just weren't feeling as comfortable as you had previously, and that sped your ascent to the major leagues, right? Once you switched back?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty shortly thereafter. I think it was the back half of 18 was when I was kind of over it. I was struggling in the front half and just wasn't feeling comfortable. Switched back to it in the back half, and then ended up debuting in 19.
What kind of reaction do you get from teammates when it's the first time that they've seen a grip like that?
They usually just laugh and try to emulate it and just mess around and say it hurts, say I can't do that, it didn't make sense why you do that, but just give me a hard time more than anything.
What message do you think is here for a player who does something different than the rest? Because you're doing something that very few players have done, but yet you're also at the top of your profession. So what's the message about doing what's comfortable for you?
I would say find what's comfortable for you. Have a reason, be convicted in it, and once you have a reason and you're convicted in why you like doing something, do it.
And the last question, you're distinctive with your grip, but you're also distinctive in the fact that you don't use batting gloves. What it is about that batting gloves have never really been something you've turned to?
Yeah, I just stopped using them kind of probably right around that same time, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. And just really I guess I like the comfortability of it. And I was given a pair of batting gloves when I was 18 for Team USA, put them on for BP, hit every ball into the top of the cage, and ever since then I've X'd them. I can't use them anymore. So now it's, I guess, more of a comfortability thing too.
I said it was the last question. I got one more. You smiled when I asked about teammates' reactions. What is the funniest thing anyone has ever said to you about thumbs upward?
Yeah, they just say it hurts, and that's all. It's weird to me because it doesn't hurt at all. But every time they take a swing with it and mess around with it, they say it hurts, and I've always thought that was funny.
Well, so far this season, it's clear that it doesn't hurt. Home run last night. The power stroke has been there. Trent Grisham sharing his hitting grip with us, Bob. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
Appreciate it, Jack. Trent as well. Trent's got strong thumbs, no doubt about that. Got to take one last break here on the FanDuel Yankees pregame. We're going to wrap things up next as the Yankees and Royals celebrate a legendary baseball player.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Spring is the season for new beginnings, and it's the best time to get behind the wheel of a sophisticated new Cadillac SUV. Visit your tri-state Cadillac dealer today. The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
It's time for the pregame odds segment presented by FanDuel. It's game 2 between the Yankees and Royals, and the Bombers had the long ball working in the series opener. With that in mind, for a same-game parlay, let's go with Aaron Judge to homer, Paul Goldschmidt to get a hit, and Max Fried to strike out at least 7. That parlay would hit at plus 828. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel.
Tonight's injury report brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, and we could be moving closer to some action for Luis Gil. He's currently on the 60-day injured list with a lat strain, but he could potentially begin the throwing program this week. Well, got a really good pitching matchup on tap for you tonight. And for the Yankees, Max Fried is coming off that gem in Detroit. 7 scoreless innings, no walks, 11 strikeouts. He's just the 3rd pitcher all time to have a sub-2 ERA and at least 20 strikeouts through his first 3 starts with the Yankees, joining Rudy May and Orlando Hernandez. The Yankees are 3-0 in Fried starts this season. And he faced the Royals for the first time last year and threw 8 2/3 innings while not allowing a run. Meanwhile, the Royals will give the ball to Michael Wacha. He has a career 3.26 ERA against the Yanks, and that includes 2 starts against them in last year's American League Division Series. Wacha pitched Game 1 and Game 4, but he didn't make it through the 5th inning in either outing. Wacha remains one of the stingiest pitchers in the American League when it comes to allowing home runs. He's given up just 1 in 15 innings this year. Well, some other things to keep an eye on tonight. The Royals are tied with the Blue Jays for the fewest home runs in baseball, just 9 so far. Bobby Witt Jr. had 1 of them last night. He was responsible for his team's only 2 hits, and he's done well against the Yanks. We mentioned the Bombers' historic home run pace. 4 more tonight would give them the franchise record through 17 games. And Jazz Chisholm Jr. will try to make it 3 straight games with a home run. That's it for now. We thank you for joining us. It's Kay, Cone, and O'Neill with a call. Marakovitz reporting. Jack and I will see you on the postgame.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
On this day, in 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. And today, all around Major League Baseball, they honor Jackie Robinson. And it is time for baseball, as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Kansas City Royals in the 2nd game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and David Cone. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees won the first game of the series, and the Yankees always say, you hit home runs, you're going to win games. They hit 4 home runs, they won the game.
Well, I mean, their offense last night was a home run. There was no doubt about it. It was all or nothing. Jazz, who's been kind of struggling, but back-to-back games with home runs, his 6th of the year. And Grisham, he's shown up swinging the bat this year and swinging it well going into the seats. Ben Rice, he continues from the leadoff spot to do really good things. And Austin Wells, why not? Just a golf shot down the line. 4 home runs, 4 runs, and a win for the Yankees.
All right, this is the Yankee offense. Only the Cubs score more runs per game. The average 5th. Home runs 32. That's the most. OPS .844. That's the best in Major League Baseball. So the Yankees now will try to make it 2 in a row, and they turn to their ace. That's Max Fried, coming off an absolutely stupendous start against the Tigers.
Yeah, it's enough about hitting. Let's get to the main source here. And the pitcher's best friend is certainly getting the ball on the ground and certainly getting double play balls, and Max Fried's been able to do that, but he can also miss bats. He's a lot quicker than you think. He can do it a lot of different ways, including that beautiful Koufax-like curveball, but he can throw it 95, 96, and then also pull the string when he needs to. Max Fried, a true ace.
And he's part of a very small club now. Guys with a 2.0 ERA or lower and 20 strikeouts through the first 3 starts with the Yankees. Rudy May did it in 74, El Duque in 98, and Max Fried has done it this year. Well, 78 years ago today, Jackie Robinson changed professional sports. He also changed the world. That's how seismic this was when he broke the color barrier. Meredith Marakovitz talks to the Yankee captain, Aaron Judge, about this. That's next on Yes.
Welcome back to Yankees Base, the life and legacy of Jackie Robinson. Hey, everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. Several Yankees players were asked during spring training if they could have dinner with one person, past or present, who it would be. Aaron Judge emphatically said Jackie. When he joined me for BP All Access earlier today, I asked him what he would ask number 42.
I'd ask him a lot of questions, from baseball stuff to off the field stuff, really just, I think the biggest thing was his mental toughness. This game is hard enough, and to deal with what he did, during the games, away from the field, traveling, and then to still go out there and perform the way he did and be so inspiring and, have his legacy still live on till this day and beyond. It's just incredible. He's one of a kind of human, and I'd have a lot of good questions for him.
And all players around Major League Baseball will be wearing number 42 today. When I asked Judge what it means to him to wear that number, he said everything. He wouldn't be here without Jackie. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Back here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees have taken the field. Max Fried has finished his warm-up tosses, and here's the lineup that he's going to face. Garcia, Witt, and Pasquantino at the top of the order. Perez, Massey, and Renfroe in the middle. And the bottom third, it's Melendez, Fermin, and Biggio. They'll face that guy.
Max Fried on the mound tonight. He's ready to go, Paulie. He's already done his warm-ups. He's got his pitch comm going. The umpire's holding him back. And we'll take a look at the Nissan pitcher scouting report for Max Fried. And ace is the place. That's exactly where he is, especially with Garrett Cole down. Where would the Yankees be without him? Revved up like a deuce. We'll get into that a little bit more. A little musical reference.
Yes.
That's in reference to his curveball. He patterned it after Sandy Koufax. It's good. And really, it starts with number 1. I think his fastball is better than you think. 2-seam, 4-seam combination. And if you look at his fastball run value over the last couple of years, it's pretty high. It's a lot better and more effective than he's given credit for.
Well, they are holding him up to throw the first pitch. That's Trip Gibson, the home plate umpire. And now he gives him the okay. So he got out there early, warmed up quickly, but they still have to wait till 7:08.
7:08 start tonight.
Garcia ready, Fried ready. Let's do it in the Bronx. First pitch inside, we're underway. Well, the problem for the Royals has been their offense. Let's see what they could do against Fried. David gave you the numbers, 2-0, 1.56. Royals are 8-9. Yankees are 9-7. The 1-1. 2-1. Garcia with 2 home runs and 9 ribbies. The team, the Royals, have 9 home runs on the season. Trip Gibson's behind the plate, considered pitcher friendly. He calls more inside strikes on lefty batters and more outside strikes on righty batters. He's in his 13th big league season. The 2-2. Upstairs, Ryan Blakeney, the first base ump, Junior Valentine at second, and Marvin Hudson is over at third.
Well, Garcia here at that full count, a guy you do not want to walk. 37 stolen bases last year and only 39 attempts.
Ground ball to third. It's Peraza to Goldschmidt. One away. Take a look at the Yankee defense. Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge left to right in the outfield. Infield, Peraza, Volpe, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt. That's third to first. Wells behind the plate. Ben Rice, the DH, and Max Fried is on the mound. There's Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt was 2 for 4 last night. The rest of the Royals were 0 for 25 as the Yankees won 4-1.
If those are the only numbers we throw up on Bobby Witt tonight, I'd be surprised. I mean, his numbers just are unbelievable. He is one of the stars of baseball, no doubt about it.
Grounded, Peraza. Took his time, and Witt's hustling down the line, but they got him. It's time now for the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, Cody talked about it. Ace in the hole. Max Fried is your ace. Very important that you win when he pitches until you get this pitching staff in order. In the right time, Royals just not scoring runs right now. Second few in baseball. Only ahead of the Colorado Rockies. You got to take advantage of the teams you're playing that aren't playing very well, and bombs away. We saw it last night. 4 home runs last night in the Yankee offense. Are they ready to take off again? We'll have to wait and see.
There's Vinny Pasquantino. You figure a big, strong guy, you're going to be able to strike him out. He has a very low strikeout rate, 12.3%. That's the 9th lowest in Major League Baseball since 2022.
Off to a tough start, hitting 207. You remember last year, he was a huge part of their offense. Drove in 97 runs, I think, in only 100 games.
Fly ball left field, Dominguez will make the play, and Fried retires the Royals in order. Kansas City, nothing. The Yankees coming to bat. Look at the great haul as the Royals have taken the field. Now we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup that will face Michael Wacha, Ben Rice, the DH, right fielder Aaron Judge, center fielder Cody Bellinger hits third, cleaning up first baseman Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm Jr. at second, Anthony Volpe at short. Bottom third of the order has Wells, Dominguez, and Peraza, and as you saw in the top of the inning, Max Fried is the starting pitcher, and with that scoreless inning, his ERA drops to 1.47. He's 2-0 on the season. So this is the pitcher that they'll face, Michael Wacha.
Yeah, veteran right-hander, been around the block, knows how to pitch a little bit. 0-2 on the year in his 3 starts, and 8 walks a little high, and the 11 strikeouts a little low for him normally. And let's check out the Nissan pitcher scouting report, give you a little more information. His best pitch is that parachute changeup. I mean, a true like swing and miss pitch, but it also makes him tougher against lefties and righties, a reverse split. So righties do a little more damage on him. In his Yankees history, he's got a 3.26 career ERA against them.
Ben Rice leads off, and the pitch is inside, 1-0. Wacha usually keeps the ball in the park, 0.89 home runs per 9 innings. And the Yankees are trying to hit the ball out of the park, 1-1. And Rice has done it, 3 home runs last 5 games. 6th highest on-base percentage in the American League. 3rd highest slug in the American League. Right back to Wacha. 1 away. Let's check out the defense for the Royals. Melendez, Garcia, and Renfroe left to right in the outfield. Infield, Biggio was in right yesterday. He's at third today. Then Witz at short, Massey at second, Salvador Perez at first. Freddie Fermin is behind the plate. Pasquantino, the DH, Wacha is on the mound. Now, this is a strange stat. It's hard to really explain. Aaron Judge has really struggled in his career against Walker. 1 for 21, no extra base hits, and 12 strikeouts. Make it make sense, Paul.
Well, you say when you're due, you're due. So maybe the nights you turn the things around. Think about sooner or later you start to feel how a pitcher goes about getting you out, because there's no reason to change if you continue to get you out. So you try to make some adjustments in that way.
What would he have, David, that would give Judge trouble?
Straight righty on righty changeup. You know, that's the one pitch. You know, Aaron Judge has done such a good job of laying off of breaking balls out of the strike zone. Everybody tries to get him to chase that pitch, but that changeup almost right down and in has been hard on him.
Line to right field. Renfroe on the run. Well, there's a hit. Judge rounds first. He's going to stop right there as Renfroe fires in, and Judge with a one-out single.
Well, back to the exit velocity, Coney. That was 108.5, and that's why this ball gets over. We talked how it gets through the infield on ground balls. Well, that's how this gets over the head of the right fielder. Just a bullet. Hit it so hard, he ended up getting a single.
Renfroe misplayed that a little bit. He went sideways and then went back, and it was just too late. Because as Paul said, on the super shot, that is smoked.
Bellinger with a fly ball to left field. Coming on as Melendez makes the play. Hustling back to first is Judge as Melendez fired to Perez. Bellinger now 1 for his last 14 with 7 strikeouts. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Came into the game with the exact same average as Judge, but Judge with that single jumps up to 377. Goldschmidt at 367. 0-1. 1-1 on Goldschmidt. Paul uses his timeout.
You notice how the veteran players use their timeouts much more. The younger players, this is just the way they've learned to play baseball, where the older guys are used to taking their time. They'll use their timeouts a lot more.
I used to stare in the stands.
Yeah.
Had 66 big league hits, though.
I was going to say, you can hit a little
66.
You used to go the other way a lot.
Slap.
Weren't a dead pull hitter, Tony.
Warner goes. Foul back to the screen.
Well, jokingly, I think Jazz said that he had Aaron Judge.
That's catcher interference. As Goldschmidt swing touched the glove of Fermin.
Judge was often running. Jazz has tied him in home runs, and you see that this, catches a catcher's glove, catcher's interference. But Jazz was a couple ahead of him in stolen bases, so maybe Aaron Judge is going to go to try to catch him.
You got a little thing going on.
Yeah, might as well.
Well, that scored catcher's interference, so an error goes to Fermin. First and second, 2 men out. Here is Chisholm. Part of an 8-way tie with 6 home runs, most home runs in the majors.
Notice the pants Jazz is wearing tonight? Like a homage to Jackie Robinson right there.
Yeah, very nice. I thought he wore Judge's. I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out.
And Paul, I think what you were referring to, Jazz Chisholm Jr. all spring training had been telling me he is going to be the MVP this year, and he said he wants to go head-to-head with Judge with home runs and stolen bases. A new stat when you combine the two. He expects to be ahead. When I asked Judge about that today on BP All Access, he said, well, we'll have to see about that. It looks like I have some running to do.
High fly ball, right field. Renfroe toward the line. And he makes a terrific play in foul territory and avoids running into the wall to retire Chisholm. No runs a hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. We played 1 here at the stadium, 0-0. Well, let's check out FanDuel's live. Will Max Fried record 6 or more strikeouts? Didn't have one in the first inning. Great look at Lower Manhattan. Sal Perez playing first base today, hitting cleanup. Been a little bit of a slide lately. Last 8 games, 4 for 27. That's 148. 203 overall. Perez's 14th major league season. Obviously, we know him as a catcher, but he does a really good job defensively at first base as well. It was the final season of a 4-year, $82 million deal. The team has a $13.5 million option for 2026, which they'd likely pick up. Fouled away.
Now, believe it or not, Sal Perez grew up a shortstop. And still to this day, during batting practice, as you look at some of his career franchise ranks.
These are the leaders, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers.
With that body type, they kind of move you away from shortstop, huh?
Yeah, he's where he belongs now. He actually plays pretty well at first base.
Yeah, he's a good defender and all around good baseball player. There's no doubt about it. We went over last night. I mean, he's definitely got Hall of Fame numbers. 7-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, 5 Silver Sluggers, an MVP of a World Series and a World Series champ in 2015.
1-2. Tipped into the glove of Wells, and Perez down on strikes. Perez is saying the ball bounced in the dirt, and Wells is showing, hey, there's no dirt on this.
He called it a foul tip. He called it hitting the ground. There's no way you can see that. It's the old shoe polish trick, right? If you used to polish your shoes, and you have to show the ball, see if there's any polish on it.
It looked like it kind of changed direction, but it would have been just a cue shot right off the end of the bat. Can't tell there either.
Missed the back door.
Well, it clearly hit the dirt. The question is there. Did it hit the end of the bat?
If it didn't, then it's a strikeout.
Yeah.
If it did, he's alive. So they said it did, and Wells is saying, no dirt, no dirt. Fly ball right field. And it's also probably showing there's no mark from the bat. Does the bat always leave a mark on the ball?
Not always, but if it's cued or something, it can leave a little mark or a scuff. I mean, you look at the bat, the barrel of the bat, the ball leaves marks on the bat where you foul it off. Those are, the ink spots from, the signatures and the label of the Major League Baseball. Not too many bats, unless they're brand new, that don't have that, the blue smear marks from the ink on the baseball.
Michael Massey takes outside 1-0.
Hal McRae, former Red and great Royal, used to say that he swung a black bat because he thought that the outfielders couldn't get a good jump off the ball. It was harder to pick up off of a black bat.
That's funny you say that, because I used to think it was so cool. George Foster, another Red, used a black bat, so I thought it was so cool. When I got to the major leagues, I tried it, and it's like, for some reason, it was like I lost the bat when I was swinging it. So maybe there's something to it. It just never worked for me.
1-2.
Boy, that two-seamer that he features a lefty, that was the toughest pitch by far for me to hit. The two-seamer from a lefty, barreling back in on you.
And the pitch, swing and a miss. There's Fried's first strikeout.
It's a value of a 1-2 punch, right? The two-seamer previously, and now you're going to go away with the four-seamer and add a little bit at 96. You don't think he has good velocity? You think he's a pitcher? No. He can ump up when he needs to, and that is right on by at 96 miles an hour with the four-seamer.
Here is Hunter Renfroe.
You know, Connie, if you think about it, there's a lot of guys in the major leagues with great stuff. And then there's a lot of guys that are true pitchers that try to use the inadequate stuff to be. But, you know, Fried is one of those guys that has both. Knows how to pitch, has great stuff.
Right field. On the run is Judge. He can't get there. It's a foul ball. That was for that kid, man. Oh, good job.
I'm glad we didn't take the camera away from that. We got the whole story there.
Good job. Absolutely. And the kid said thank you. Oh, perfect. I can't write it better. Foul back to the screen.
Well, Renfroe, one of those guys they brought in to really help this offense. You know, he's had a couple years in his career where he hit 30-plus home runs, but just off to a horrific start at 128, no home runs. They're waiting for a lot of these guys to turn it around offensively.
1-2. He's always hit lefties well in his career, has an 842 OPS. But as Paul mentioned, 5 for 39 overall. He did exercise the $7.5 million player option for this year. He's a solid player, but he's had 7 teams in 7 seasons. Strike 3 as he goes down looking. Another strong inning for Fried. He retires the Royals in order, and Aaron Judge has another frame. Yankees local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Tunnel to Towers. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org. By Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. And by Hyundai. With a brand new Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. Jackie Robinson calling it a career. After the 1957 season, made the Hall of Fame in 1962. (1956). The 1-0. Ground it softly to third. Biggio gets Volpe. So Jackie made his major league debut on this day in 1947, batting second and playing first base. He was 0 for 3, scored a run. Brooklyn won 5-3. In 2004, Jackie Robinson Day was established. 2007, some players wore number 42. 2009 was the first time all uniform personnel wore 42 on this day. And it's a fitting honor because not only did he change baseball and sports, but had an impact on this country. Much more than just sports. Austin Wells hits one deep to right center field. On the run is Renfroe, and he makes an excellent catch for the second out.
Yeah, off the bat, this was off the wall or in the bullpen, but Renfroe ran it down. Hunter Renfroe, over his career, has been a very good defensive player. It's 74 outfield assists since 2017, with leads the major leagues. Had a great arm, runs this one down well too.
Yeah, he's got a cannon for a throwing arm, and that is a nice play on the run.
There's Jason Dominguez. Hits one shortly and through for a base hit. Dominguez, Yankees' second hit. A 2-out single here in the second.
One thing about Dominguez's approach is that he can work or walk, but he's also aggressive. So it's that good blend for a young hitter that he's ready to swing. First pitch curveball, go down, dig it out, hit it hard, find the hole.
You know, that's really a good sign too from a young hitter that you hit a first pitch curveball, because you have to be able to adjust to the curveball. And no hitter goes up there looking for a curveball first pitch. You're always hitting off the fastball.
0-1 on Oswald Peraza. And a strike from Walker.
You saw Aaron Judge earlier in motion, and you would love to see the Yankees start to use their speed, but you got to be very careful here. With Fermin behind the plate, last year he led all the major league catchers, 45%. Throwing out base stealers. The average is 22, so he has doubled what a normal catcher would do, throwing out runners.
Massey throws out Peraza. That'll do it. Yankees strand one, and we're going to the third. It's time for the Optimum Don't Take. We go back to Game 1, 1955, the World Series. Jackie Robinson steals home. Yogi Berra did not agree. And to his last day on this earth, Yogi would always say he was out.
He would sign that photo. There's a photo of that, and Yogi would sign it. He was out. Exclamation point.
What a career for Jackie Robinson. Rookie of the Year, MVP batting champion, world champion, 6-time All-Star. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1962. Melendez takes inside.
He said baseball might have been his third best sport. Jackie Robinson.
Oh, is that right?
The heck of an athlete, football player. Really every sport.
High fly ball, center field. Bellinger back, turning, looking, see ya. Into the Yankee bullpen. Melendez with a long home run, and it's 1-0 Royals.
That's Melendez' first of the year. He came up as a catcher, and he was a big time prospect. 2021, he led all of the minor leagues with 41 home runs. And he just has not brought that to the major league level, but he did right there.
Well, he's got some pop, and he just showed it.
Here's Fermin, and a strike.
That's a sound, Coney, you didn't like on the mound, huh?
No. Give me whiplash.
High fly ball, right field. Judge. 1 foot on the warning track. One away.
Oh, it's right out in front, right off the barrel. Max Fried knows.
That's a long one. It's almost 430 feet out there in the Yankee bullpen.
You do that, Coney? Say, hey, that's my fault to the catcher?
Yeah, throw it down the middle. Yeah, it's not where I was trying to throw it.
Kevin Biggio takes a strike. Kevin was on 4 different organizational charts last year. DFA by Toronto in June, then he went to the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Braves, and played in the majors for the Dodgers and the Braves. Biggio down on strikes.
Blinded by the light.
There you go.
Wrapped up like a deuce. There it is right there.
It's Manfred Mann, isn't it?
Manfred Mann. Actually, Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good curveball. I don't know why, and I'd like your opinion on why the big overhand curveball kind of left the game for a long time. Everybody went to the slider and the cutter.
It's a hard pitch to master and throw for a strike. But Max Fried has talked about modeling that curveball when he was in his youth after Sandy Koufax, who had a great one. Brooklyn Dodgers, teammate of Jackie Robinson. But Sandy was as good as anybody at throwing gas and then that big, true 12-6 hook. So many names for a curveball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yacker, Yellow Hammer.
Don't forget Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie.
You know Uncle Charlie, Mike?
I don't have an Uncle Charlie.
You don't know him then.
My dad was an Uncle Charlie to my cousins.
Yeah. There's a story behind that. I think that wasn't that the president of Harvard back then who didn't like baseball, and Uncle Charlie was a reference to him, kind of a dig at him.
Wow.
I think.
Oh, really?
I think there's a story behind that, yes. Way back when. So Uncle Charlie was a dig.
Slow roller, charging Peraza, and will not make the play, and a base hit for Garcia.
Well, Peraza knew he only had one option, and that was to barehand this ball, and still don't know if you're going to get him at first base, but just couldn't come up with it. You don't realize how hard that is with the spin on the baseball to grab that and keep it in a throwing position. And looking back, I mean, did anybody do it any better than Scott Brocious? Great at barehanding the ball, and he used to work on it. And I would see him over there, coach 6-8 feet from him, hitting him little fungos, and he would just barehand them.
You know, yesterday we spoke about where Gotham came from. And so many people held out on social media. Washington Irving wrote a story calling New York City Gotham, and it was not a compliment. It was kind of pejorative. Fly ball right center. On the run is Bellinger, and he's not going to get there. Hits off that wall. Plays to Karam. Rounding third and heading home is Garcia. Is cut off. So it's an RBI double for Bobby Witt, and it's 2-0 KC.
Well, Bobby Witt does what he does, and that's just drive the ball all over the ballpark. He pulled a home run last night and just rifles this ball into right center. But a tremendous read by Garcia, knowing and trusting that this is over his head, scores easily from first base. Again, we talked about it last night, so level through the strike zone, and he just uses his whole body, legs, torque, everything, just to drive the ball.
Beautiful, beautiful swing.
One and one to Pasquantino. Witt picks up his 8th ribby of the year. And a strike. 1 and 2. Three hits for Kansas City all this inning. Swing and a miss. Down goes Pasquantino. But the Royals scored 2 on 3 hits with 1 man left. Time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the Yankees. Tonight's picture is of Parker. Loves coming to the games here at Yankee Stadium. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. So Michael Wacha has a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the third. That'll be the top of the Yankee order. Rice, Judge, and Bellinger. Wacha, 33 years old, 13th big league season. Had a terrific season last year, 29 starts, 3.35. Was a free agent, but he agreed to a 3-year, $51 million contract. Team option for 2028. And the Royals GM, J.J. Piccolo, said keeping Wacha was their #1 priority this offseason. Fly ball, shallow left center. Melendez makes the play.
I think you're going to see a lot of that coming forward. I mean, Walker obviously has a great changeup, but Ben Rice has shown that he can hit the fastball, especially the inside fastball. So you're going to see a lot more breaking pitches. That was 3 consecutive changeups in that at bat.
Judge had a single in the first inning. High fly ball, right field. Renfroe, 2 outs. Anyway, that single for Judge gave him 2,199 total bases, and that tied Elston Howard for 25th on the franchise list. Talking about Jackie Robinson today. Elston debuted 70 years ago yesterday, April 14th, 1955. He was the Yankees' first African-American player. Here's Cody Bellinger. On 1. Bellinger 1 for his last 14. That one is drilled to right field. Renfroe will make the shoestring catch and stumble, but hold on for the final out as the Yankees go down in order. Local Tri-State Audi dealer today. We spoke about this the previous inning. Elston Howard, such a great player. His number 32 retired by the New York Yankees. He broke the color barrier in the Bronx in 1955. And all he did was win and carry himself with grace and class. Perez hits one deep to left center field, and that's going to be in there for a base hit. Splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. And Sal Perez leads off the 4th with a double. The resume on Elston Howard: 14 big league seasons, Yankees and the Red Sox. 4-time world champion, won the MVP in 1963. 12-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves as a catcher. Pretty amazing career.
Longtime coach, too. And a good one. Highly respected.
Elston stood between Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson in that dugout at Fenway Park, and things might have escalated a little bit more if a big guy like Elston was not separating the two of them. The 0-1. Jazz Chisholm fields and gets Massey. Moving to third is Perez.
Well, if you're Kansas City, these are the things you're going to have to do until this offense really gets up and rolling, and that's move guys over, try to cheat and score runs this way. You just can't wait for guys. And Renfroe right here, we talked about his struggles. I mean, this is a big at bat. Infield in for the Yankees.
Inside.
You know, it's funny, you don't have to come in quite as much. You know, with Perez at third base, you get a little more time as an infield. So they're almost playing halfway with the infield in.
The 1-0. Right side. Wells and Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt makes the play as Perez stays put at third. Big out for Fried.
Anytime, Coney, you know it, anytime you can leave that guy on third base, now it's in your hands as a pitcher to get out of this inning. And good job by Goldschmidt. He went a long way, but that's a tough play for a catcher going over there, calling him off. Make sure you get the play done. Linda's coming off a home run last time up.
And there's a strike. Got to be honest, Paul, I think the Royals have a really strong eye black game going.
Is that it?
It just looks perfect the way they play it. It's not even the tape.
A lot of time and effort put into that, especially for a night game. I don't know what the eye black does in a night game. Hey, Bobby Witt Jr. wears it. I think we all need it.
Ground ball, Jazz Chisholm. So Fried works around the leadoff double and strands Perez. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-0 Yanks. Well, April 15th, historic MLB debut. Robinson's courage and determination in the face of adversity is as much an example now as ever before. Join baseball in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day and visit MLBtogether.com/42 to learn more. Bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Royals. Paul Goldschmidt leads off against Michael Wacha. Pitch outside.
I remember hanging around the batting cage all the time in Kansas City, and Buck O'Neill was always there from the Kansas City Monarchs, from the Negro League, and Jackie Robinson was part of that team. 1945, and they had a pitcher for hire that year too named Satchel Paige. Pretty good squad, huh?
Gunslinger.
Yes.
Fly ball on the right side makes the seats out of play.
I don't know if I've met anybody in the game quite like Buck O'Neill.
Yeah.
You know, the way he could talk, how positive he was, telling stories.
They're storytellers in life, and I look back at, sitting in the dugout, listening to Don Zimmer tell stories, and you're right, just sitting there during batting practice, just listening to his stories, and
he just loved the game.
Yep.
Two and two on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt reached on a catcher's interference in the first inning. Veteran Wacha deals. There's that changeup, 3-2. Another foul ball.
It's a change up in the back of your mind when you just foul off a fastball right down the middle. It's because in the back of your mind you just saw change up. Will he do it again?
Left field. Melendez. One out. Weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 54, feels a little bit cooler. Chance of rain is 37%. Sorry, Paul. Humidity 46%. The wind is blowing from right field to left field.
We're getting the little side notes on the chance of precipitation now.
Those are for you.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Less than 50-50. We can take our odds, right?
Here's Chisholm. 0-1. Biggio pulled way off the line for the lefty swinging Chisholm, and he thought about bunting that way. 1-1. Chisholm has homered in back-to-back games after going 0 for 24 before that first home run.
Good take right there.
I was thinking the same thing. He didn't jump at it, nothing. He saw it the whole way, and that's a changeup, in a fastball count. Another good take, just a good changeup.
Yes. It's his secret sauce. He's got all the pitches, but it's predominantly fastball change is his bread and butter. And there's about 12 to 15 miles an hour difference at times between in terms of velocity. That's pretty hard, You get up to 94 on it and 82 on the changeup.
2-2. 3-2.
Up to 95 on that fastball. He's also a little quicker than you think at times. He could add a little bit. Average Major League fastball in today's game, probably around 94 miles an hour.
Center field, Garcia back on the track, makes the play. Let's take a look at Michael Walker's Arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, the four-seamer and the changeup, as we said before, are number 1 and number 2, and the others are complementary. He's got a cutter, slider, occasional sinker, and he'll drop that curveball over for strikes early in the count at times. But it's really a front-to-back style, as we say. You know, speed it up, slow it down.
Here's Anthony Volpe.
Well, Coney, you were talking about it last night, and, you know, if you look at the breakdowns on that, hitter's only hitting 200 off his changeup. So, you know, a normal person, well, why wouldn't you just throw it more? But if you don't show other pitches and you don't protect it, as you call it, then it's not nearly as effective.
That's exactly right. I mean, there has to be a little bit of a mystery involved. You know, that was Joe Torre used to say that. If you retain a little bit of mystery, it's a great weapon for a pitcher to have, and it's more on the mental side. I used to love to see guys walk back to the dugout shaking their head because it wasn't the pitch they were looking for.
1-2 on Volpe. Out of the gate, Volpe's first 8 games, he looked terrific. Coming into this game, his last 8 games, 083, and he rounded the third and the second.
You've seen a lot of, even, you know, you're in the bottom of the 4th here. You've seen a lot of just missed. Judge just missed one. Goldschmidt just missed one. So, and that's what it is about a fastball changeup, is you're just not on time with either.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Volpe down on strikes, and he's saying, why don't you ask the umpire? Trip Gibson called him out himself. We go to the 5th inning. It is 2-0 Royals. The Yankees base, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. Max Fried down 2-0 as we start the 5th. Fermin will lead off. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Royals order. And the first pitch dropped in there for strike. 72-mile-an-hour curveball. Royals 8-9. When you look at their schedule coming out of the gate, it's a tough schedule. They played mostly teams that made the playoffs last year, and those that didn't, other than the Rockies, well, they were close. And they've had trouble offensively. They have scored no more than 4 runs in 15 of the 17 games. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Two and two.
Thought we had a shot there, Michael.
And then when you look at the offense, the way the Royals are not doing it, they don't have home runs. And pitching is so good around Major League Baseball, people accentuate the home runs because it's easier to score that way than rolling together 4 or 5 hits in a row. It's just hard to do that in today's baseball. So 3-2 on Fermin. Off the glove of Goldschmidt. And it's going to be a base hit for Fermin.
Oh, kind of an in-betweener going to his right, off the glove. And Jazz has a good thing here. Just let it go. You didn't get a grip on it. Ball slipped out of it. Don't launch it into the stands and give him second base.
Yeah, almost a changeup off the bat. 72 miles an hour. Had a little spin on it. Jazz tries to save it, but really had no chance.
There's Biggio. He struck out in the 3rd. 5th hit for the Kansas City Royals. Yankees have 2. Royals lead 2-0. Biggio shows bunt. 1-0.
It's one advantage that Max Fried has is it's the best pickoff move since Andy Pettit in pinstripes. So he really has a good one. Can control the running game. Really hangs that leg, reads the runner. Not that Fermin's a threat. Such a weapon. I'm so jealous of lefties all my career. I got a slide step. And
the problem is if you're running against a lefty, you can juke and jive over there and just try to keep because they're facing you. You don't have to draw a throw, but it seems like you were talking about last night. Anything to distract a pitcher can help.
Three and on Biggio. And a strike.
But to your point, Coney, I mean, to steal a base off of a lefty with a good move, it's almost just a guess. Because if you can tell me the perfect not balk or balk, it's so unscientific. You just have to guess and go on a pitch that you think he's going home.
Fly ball shallow center. Bellinger. One down. It's time to name that Yankee, brought to you by Prevision, made for your brain. 253, 255 home runs. You see the Ribbies, 2 All-Star appearances. Yankees in 1982. Bulk of his career with the Royals.
Pretty good player, 250 some home runs, huh?
David, those are your boyhood
right
Royals
in my
team.
sweet spot. Yes.
You got a smile on your face. You got it?
I just guessed it. Yep.
Wow. I'm drawing blanks over here.
Swing and a miss. Garcia down on strikes. 2 away.
Wow, you went from a leadoff single and a 3-0 count to now a man still standing on first base and 2 outs. He has really come back here.
Throwing a lot of strikes, 46 strikes to 20 balls and no walks. And Bobby Witt up and a dangerous hitter always.
Oh, 1 on Witt.
You know, it's always said, Coney, that, and I don't know if you can think back, like when you face the best hitters in the league, do you feel like you made more mistakes trying not to make mistakes?
That's an interesting point because, yes, you can. You start to try to snap it off a little harder, and those are the ones you end up hanging.
Into center field. Bellinger right there. And he recovers after the leadoff single. We're halfway through. Royals up by 2. Well, fans, the Yes app has moved to the Gotham Sport home for streaming live, Yankees, Nets, and more. Free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now and sign in with your existing Yes app username and password. Or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order. The Audi scoreboard has the Royals up 2-0. Royals have 5 hits. The Yankees have 2. We'll start it off with Austin Wells. You know, we talked about the importance of the home run. The Yankees, 53.5% of their runs come via the home run. Yesterday, all their runs came via the home run, and that's 3rd in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers have the highest percentage at 60.8, the Angels at 54.7. And the Yankees with 32 home runs on the season, that's the most in the organization's history through 16 games. Wells had one of those 4 home runs yesterday.
You start seeing hitters out on their front foot, kind of leaning toward him. You know, that's a changeup, and all your weight transfers before. Even if you swing, you've lost a lot of your power by your weight not being able to stay back.
That's what the great Tony Kubek used to talk about. Take your legs away from the hitter. Just to what you're saying. If you can just get him out in front, then you lose a little power from your legs. And even though if you might be able to hit it off the barrel or square it up, you just don't have the juice behind it, and the ball doesn't carry.
Swing and a miss on that change. Wells down on strikes. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton expected to travel with the team to Tampa tomorrow to continue his rehab, and there is no timetable for his return. He's on the 10-day IL. Both elbows have been affected. It's strange, though, because he is taking BP off the trajectory machine, so he's facing upwards of 95, 98 miles an hour off that machine.
He's doing a lot of other work, too, as far as running, trying to get into, playing shape. But I don't think at this point of the season that the Yankees want to try to force anybody back until he's basically 100%.
But the problem is once you start a rehab assignment, the clock's ticking. And you only have so many days before you have to activate him or make a move.
Base hit for Dominguez. So he has 2 of the Yankees' 3 hits.
Well, if you look at the last 2 days, I think you're starting to see Dominguez both defensively and offensively. This cutter just doesn't quite get in on the inside part of the plate enough. And just a good solid swing. And you can look at his body side. He's strong. And when he's confident and starts letting it go, he's going to drive some balls.
Peraza lost one to center field. Garcia makes the play for out number 2.
So, Paula, you're Ben Rice right now. You know that you've been fooled by the changeup a couple of times. Third time up. What do you have? What's your approach right now?
I'm looking to go the other way because I feel I'll still get to the changeup and pull it. But, I don't want to be beat by the fastball, but I'm going to try to go the other way to stay in there just a little bit longer.
And he goes with the fastball there, 0-1.
And now as you step out, you're thinking, you know what, that's probably the only one I'm going to get. And I just watched it.
A veteran pitcher and a young hitter.
To your point, Coney, I think hitters sit on pitches more now than they used to because of the analytics, the percentages that pitchers throw. So, we were taught to always hit fastball first.
Hits the changeup on a line to Perez, and that'll do it. We go to the 6th.
Hey everybody, Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Red Sox center field, and that's top of the 2nd. Jarren Duran, his first home run of the season is gone. Red Sox trying to battle back from losing 16-1 last night to the Rays. They've scored in all 4 innings. Alex Bregman, he is a triple shy of the cycle. Boston leading the Rays 6-2, bottom of the 4th. Fellas.
Thank you, Bob. Padres have won all 11 home games, 14-3 overall record, 5-game winning streak. Vlad Guerrero, no home runs last 26 games, dating back to last season. And Shane Baz has done very, very well this season for the Rays. 27 strikeouts in 19 innings, sporting a 1.42 ERA. I believe that they will see him on Sunday or Saturday. 1-1 on Pasquantino. He is in line for Saturday, I'm told. 2-2. Got hurt at the end of last year, but then made it back for the playoffs where he struggled just a bit. Count is full.
He's a big old boy in there, isn't he? About 250.
It's so funny because he is so large. I mean, he's a big dude. But Aaron Judge was at first base last night, and I just happened to look down there. I'm just like, again, he looks like a little kid next to Aaron Judge, and he is a big guy.
Pasquantino swings and misses. He struck out twice against Max Fried, and we've told you that he's hard to strike out. And that's the 6th Yankee strikeout brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Yeah, he's got off-speed stuff going both ways. A slider away, curveball away, a changeup in. I mean, you don't see that a lot, lefty on lefty. That was kind of a unwritten rule, but you know, it's a workable pitch if you can control it to go down and in to a lefty.
Grounded foul.
I never really understood that, how you would tell somebody, a good lefty with a great changeup, not to throw changeups to lefties.
Your old school theory was it's home run prone if you make a mistake, if you don't thread the needle with it. But
fly ball center field. Now, I've heard that same thing, David, but isn't that interesting? If you make a mistake with any pitch, it's home run prone.
Very true. The old school theory was wrong in this case because you just, as Paulie said, you're not used to seeing it. You know, when there's not the platoon advantage, right on right or left on left, if you could throw the ball inside off speed, the hitter usually reads fastball. You can get him to yank a foul out in front, swing over the top of it.
Massey takes high.
That was a big turning point for me. The Royals had a catcher named Jamie Quirk, who caught me in AAA, kind of revamped himself, became a catcher, became a really good one, and told me, throw it down and in, throw that splitter down and in to right-handed batters.
That one's lofted into left field. Coming on is Dominguez, and he makes the play on the run for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you indeed. What he went through when he broke the color barrier, the things that he had to withstand. And that was one of the things that Branch Rickey told him, that, you know, you're going to have to ignore these things, because Jackie was a tough man. And his first reaction would be to go back at these people. You can't. Give it a couple of years. And he had to listen to things and just plow forward. Judge takes outside.
And his wife, Rachel Robinson, was there every step of the way and carried on his legacy after he passed.
The 0-1. 1-1.
You know, many times, as you know, she was on the field or around the ballparks, you'd listen and have to. She left an imprint. I mean, when you left, you felt like, wow, that was cool.
2-1 on the Yankee captain. Grounded up the middle. Will it get through? It's grabbed there by Massey. Throws to first. And Perez cannot come up with the scoop. He bobbled it, so Judge will reach.
Oh, really good play by Massey to get rid of this ball quick. Harris thinks that he possibly came down with it, but it's going to go as a base hit if it's not turned around. Yeah, I think he caught it after Aaron Judge had already got past the base. See, it's in the air there. Yeah, he's safe. Good call.
Size 17, right in your super shot.
There's Bellinger. And a strike from Walker. So, Judge, you came into the game 1 for 21 against Waka. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Cody is 0 for 2 against Waka. Fly ball to left, fly ball to right.
Yeah, it's starting to get late for the Yankees, and Waka have not had a lot of pressure pitches. This is an inning right here, with Aaron Judge leading off with a single, that you got to try to put somebody across the plate and make Waka stress a little bit.
Yeah,
that's just 64 pitches, Paul.
Exactly. And try to pick up your ace, too, Max Fried.
1-2 on Bellinger. Angel Zerpa, one of the 3 lefties in the Royals bullpen, is getting ready. Swing and a miss. Bellinger down on strikes. 1 down.
Well, we saw this last series. Late in the count, they try to go hard up to Bellinger. This is a cutter. Kind of stays there, but you see him underneath the baseball.
They're trying to go back door. Waka just kind of hung on to it a little bit and got away with it.
Here's Goldschmidt. One and 0.
Just love his approach. Goldschmidt looking to kind of hit the fastball the other way and pull the off-speed stuff. Stays within his approach. Very disciplined.
One and 1. One and 2.
It just looks like Goldschmidt's sitting off speed. A couple of fastballs in the zone, takes. Now you're in 2-strike mode.
Swing and a miss. Got the fastball by him.
That's smart pitching right there, Coney, because if you're a pitcher and you see a guy, kind of sitting on that changeup off speed, what do? You go fastball, but you kind of go out of the strike zone. And as a hitter, you're kind of fooled, so you leave the strike zone.
I could not agree more. Waka, the veteran pitcher, reading the body language, the bat. Goldschmidt never saw a changeup.
Strike to Chisholm. I think he thought that was inside. Chisholm tied for the American League, or the Major League lead, with 6 home runs. Hits one here, it's a tie game. 3-1. Judge at first with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 Kansas City.
Got Volpe on deck. I bet he doesn't give in here. Probably sees a changeup. 3-1.
And there's ball 4.
He just wasn't going to give in right there. Especially with a 2-run lead. Get the platoon advantage here, even though he has reverse splits, generally speaking. The veteran pitcher not going to make a mistake there on 3-1.
Even though, he throws that changeup so much, he has confidence he can throw it for a strike if he wants to, right? You talk about putting a pitcher in a situation that he hasn't had, and he's just been cruising through this game. And now finally there is 2 outs, but you've got a couple men on and a big bat for Anthony Volpe.
Told that Tyler Soderstrom has hit a home run, so he now leads the majors with 7. So an 8-way or 7-way tie at 6 for second place. Here's Volpe. 1-0.
It's just the A's right now, right? No more Oakland, just the A's.
Just the A's.
Okay.
They don't have a home. They're just in traveling.
Did you see the other day when the Mets were in town and somebody got injured and they had the car come out on the field to bring the person, and it ran out of gas in the middle of the field. They had to push it. Oh.
The Athletics.
They've had many homes. Philly, KC, Oakland.
They broke our hearts in Kansas City.
Now, you don't remember. It broke your dad's heart, right?
No, it was my dad's heart.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. But
filtered down through the dinner table.
We eventually got an expansion team, and hence the Royals.
3-1.
It's a huge spot here for Anthony Volpe.
Crowd into it. Walker steps off, looks Judge back to second.
Second guess a pitch there, Coney?
Yeah, he's a veteran guy. He's calling his own. You see him push the pitch count, but he's up against the clock here. He's going to get he better release it. He's got 1 second. Steps off again because he knew. He almost ran out of time right there. So good presence of mind.
Mm-hmm. How did he step off twice?
He had 2 step-offs there.
Ball 4. And the Yankees have the bases loaded.
Wow, what a decision. You go to the pen? I guess you do. If you want the lefty on lefty. A guy that's throwing a shutout. It's got 2 outs here in the 6th. The bases loaded. That's what you come for, Michael, huh?
Let's see what they do. He has not yet signaled. Now he takes the ball, you're right. So go for the lefty against Wells. 2-0 Yankees. Yankees threatening. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Buy Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't stay slow for an answer. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. There's Jackie and Rachel Robinson.
Rachel still with us at 102 years old.
Truly Zerpa.
Yeah, remarkable woman.
With the bases loaded, we'll face Wells. Now we get more clarification on how he could step off twice. It's like throwing over twice. Can't do it again. And if he had thrown on one of the step-offs, then that would have been a balk. But he was allowed the 2 step-offs at second base when the clock was running down. The 1-0. 2-0.
Boy, it's a couple good looks from Wells to see his release point and now to be ahead in the count. You just got to fight the urge to try to do too much here.
First time the Yankees have had a runner at third base. Judge is at third, Chisholm at second, Volpe is at first. Zerpa on a relief of Waka. Having some trouble hearing. Doesn't seem to be working. I would think that's a good stall tactic.
I'm thinking the same thing. Can the umpire check that anyway?
Well, the crowd did get pretty loud there. Yeah. In this, it's Yankee Stadium.
So big spot, bottom of the 6th, Yankees down 2-0. Wells 2-0 count. Zerpa deals. 3-0. No place to put Austin Wells.
Well, you got to be taken all the way here. You got to make him throw strikes. If he wants to give you a walk, take it.
He took it. That'll force in a run, an RBI for Wells, and it's 2-1 KC.
Well, this is the closest pitch of the count, but still, you know, every once in a while you'll see an umpire with a 3-0 strike zone. That ball was off the plate.
So here is Dominguez batting from the right side. He was 2 for 2 against Walker, batting left-handed. And Zerpa throws a strike.
Go to the breaking ball to try to get a strike right there. Good job by Fermin, the catcher, calling that pitch.
And the lefty rocks and deals. 1-1. Zerpa pitched in all 4 games against the Yankees in last year's American League Division Series. 25 years old, 5th big league season. He's a ground ball heavy left-hander. But he'll take it out here any way he can get it. And the 1-2. Line drive, it's a base hit down the left field line. Chisholm scores. Volpe scores. They're waving home Wells. Wells scores. It's a bases clearing double for Dominguez. And the Yankees have taken a 4-2 lead.
I think you've seen Dominguez kind of blossom into what he's supposed to be in this series, in this homestand, defensively and offensively. Hit so hard he knocked his helmet off. But a huge hit, kind of a signature moment for him early in the year to come through in a big situation.
Beat him to the spot, 96 miles an hour, and then hit himself in the head.
You're taking us so smiling down the line now.
Look at him bring the hands in.
Yeah, he really did pull his hands in, but boy, he barreled it, hit it right on the meat of the bat by doing that.
Look at Wells running. Getting it going there. Look like Super Mario coming around third.
So Dominguez 3 for 3. The big question is hitting from the right side, and he did everything right there. And picks up 3 ribbies. Gives the Yankees the lead. He's at second. Here is Peraza. 1-0.
Well, you really can't explain how much confidence hits like this, the defensive plays he's made on this homestand, has changed the way he's even walking out on the field.
Couldn't have gone better the last 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
The defensive part and now the right-handed swing.
Absolutely.
The 2 things that everybody's talking about with him.
I don't know how you do this one, though.
Wow.
Two and 1.
Max Fried feeling pretty good on the bench, too, right now. Wrapping it right around. Whack!
Where'd it go?
The fair or foul?
Felt good off the bat. Where is it?
3 and 1 on Peraza. So all of the great work by Waka has been erased. I think he's looking through the ear hole to see where that ball is.
You know, you can listen to the crowd and know that it was something happened good.
Three and 2.
Yeah, back to Max Fried. I mean, he gave up those 2 runs, and then offensively, Yankees had done nothing. But as a great pitcher, what you do, you shut him down, give your shot an offense a chance to have an inning like this.
Swing and a miss. as Peraza down on strikes. But the Yankees put up a 4 spot. The big blow by that man, Jason Dominguez, clears the bases with a double and gives the Yankees a 4-2 lead. Yankees baseball are the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. It is a tough sport. You just get this huge hit, a 3-hit night, and you don't get to go back out on the field. The Yankees will replace Dominguez for defense in the 7th inning. And the holdup right now is Grisham's nowhere to be found. Now they get him. So he'll go play center. They'll move Bellinger over the left, and Dominguez's night is over.
Well, so far his night was really good, defensively and offensively. 3 hits on the night and the huge 3-run double.
You know, there's a certain amount of calculus to this move, because what you're doing is you're losing his bat in a 2-run game. I mean, if the Royals come back and tie the game, do you want Dominguez up again? Now, you're not losing that much because Grisham's been hitting great, but that's the calculus they have to have. How much do we not trust him defensively that we're going to take a bat away from him in a big spot?
Yeah, I think that Aaron Boone has made his mind up that, you know, he's not going to put him in this situation late in the game. But, I mean, he has improved defensively, and I think it's more of a mental thing than anything. He's getting better jumps on the ball. He's making good catches coming in and going back. So I just think he is much more comfortable in left field.
And guys, looking back to last night, he was replaced by Bellinger, and Aaron Boone was asked about it again today, when he's going to feel comfortable with Jason Dominguez late in the game in left field. And you saw the good plays he made yesterday, made another good play today. He said he likes where he's at right now defensively. He thinks he's getting much better jumps, taking much better routes, to your point, Paul. But right now he wants to take advantage of the bench, and you mentioned it. Grisham has been great at the plate, great defender, and I think Aaron Boone just utilizing that right now late, not putting him in a bad spot. But Michael, you wonder how long that continues and if it ever starts to affect the confidence of Jason Dominguez not finishing out a game.
And Meredith, you also have to think, the guy's riding on a cloud right now after that hit. He goes out the left field, he gets all these cheers. I mean, does that come into play at all? That let him soak that in a little, let him feel good about things, but instead he gets taken out for defense. But that's their game plan. 3-0 to Renfroe. Well, David said it. The offense just picked up their ace. You know, he had a 2-0 deficit. Now he's up 4-2. And he misses upstairs, so he walks Renfroe on 4 pitches. Long half inning on the bench, but he'll take it to get the 4 runs. At this point, no one's warming in the Yankee bullpen, but they're stirring out there right now. As Mark Leiter Jr.
Well, Fried with only 83 pitches, so, you know, he's not at the end of the rope if he can get some outs here.
Curveball drops in there for a strike. Melendez touched up Fried for a home run in the 3rd inning, and then grounded to second in the 4th. And that one is ripped into center field. On the run is Grisham, and he makes the play. He took an extra base hit away from Melendez.
All right, let's take everything you said back, Michael. What a play in center field. Wow. And Dominguez likes it, too. I tell you, off the bat, I thought this had a chance to go. This ball was hammered. You can't say enough about how easy Grisham makes plays look. This isn't an easy play. This was a hard hit line drive. You're on a dead sprint out there. Fried notes.
We'll see Aaron Boone step out of the dugout and look up here at Michael.
That's right. Bobby Valentine in Shea Stadium.
Yes,
yeah. Pointing at the
Bobby
fans.
would have done that.
And that's exactly what he would say. That's why we did that.
Hey, it's a great argument, great debate all the way around. Certainly valid points. And Grisham, little gold out there too, but potential Gold Glover.
You know, Michael, I wasn't part of the debate team. If we're going to debate up, I just want to let you know.
You know what? I assume that.
That wasn't one of my things. I don't know why.
1-2.
And Aaron Boone knows that from his broadcasting career. He knows these are the questions that need to be asked and talked about.
Lou Weaver has now joined Mark Leiter Jr. in the Yankee bullpen. Curveball, swing and a miss. 2 down.
You ever see an over-the-top curveball kind of back up? Watch this. This actually kind of goes away at the end. And a swing and a miss.
Look at that spin on that curveball.
There's Kevin Biggio. We're in the 7th.
This is a great matchup for Fried to get out of this inning. Biggio up there, lefty on lefty.
On Biggio was 0 for 2 against Fried. Cruz and Schreiber up for the Royals. We're in the top of the 7th. The Yankees up 4-2. 3-0 on Biggio.
A little surprising there. Went back to the breaking ball, huh?
Can't help but think when you're on the mound now, the last thing you want to do is make a mistake and leave something up that will tie this game. See there, even a 2-seamer, 3-0, he kind of backdoored a little sinker because Nick's just not going to give in.
And he misses outside to walk Biggio. So 2 walks in the inning. Boone tells Wells to go out and talk. Give the bullpen a little bit more time.
Yeah, he's probably done for the night. But you could just see it. I've been there. I know how he's feeling. You can't make a mistake here. You know that you got a 2-run lead, but one little hanger and it's Ty Wago. That's when you kind of pull that 4-seamer off the plate like you just did. You kind of hang on to it to guide it just a bit.
Well, before this inning, he had not walked a batter. So he'll finish with 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 runs. The runners on base are his responsibility. Here comes Boone. He will take the ball from Fried. So Fried throws 94 pitches. No signal's been made yet. Now there it is.
The first signal, he said, I got it. And Aaron Boone had his.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new life.
Well, back here in the Bronx, we're going to give you the sage pitching decisions, and it is Max Fried, and he was good tonight. Gave up a couple early, but kept him right there and threw everything. Signature curveball, got a lot of spin on it. He can cut it in on you. He's got some weapons. A little disappointed at the end, but he did his job.
Amazing start against Detroit. Another strong start here tonight. 6 2/3, 5 hits. Well, the runners on base is responsibility. And they bring in Weaver to try to get out of the jam here in the 7th. The Yankees lead 4-2. Seven 2/3 innings for Luke.
Go from blinded by the light to Dreamweaver right here.
Yes.
See if he can pick him up.
And a strike to Michael Garcia.
Well, Garcia, one of the few guys swinging the bat pretty well. 281 now. A couple home runs, 9 RBIs. So Weaver's got to be careful.
Grounded to Volpe. They get the force at 2nd, then Weaver does the job. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Fried likes what he sees. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. The Yankees lead the Royals 4-2, but we're going to stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Air Force Master Sergeant Robert Rittenauer from Brown Mills, New Jersey, who served in Operation Desert Storm. The Yankees say thank you, Robert, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Time for your Ford Studio Update. Bob and Jack with Dominguez have played none bigger than that double in the 6th.
Let's not forget, Jason Dominguez turned 22 in February, and Bob, that might have been one of the best at-bats of his young career. Forget might have, it was. He gets into a 2-strike situation, but he's still confident, ends up pulling that pitch down the left field line, 3-run double. A lot of happy Yankees after he did that, none more so than Max Fried.
Yeah, picking up Fried in a big way. We'll hear from Fried, Dominguez, and more on the postgame, guys.
Thank you, guys. You see the particulars, but let's also give credit to Jack Curry. Here at the
I was
beginning,
just going to say, what's he got, an airplane?
Races to the studio, and he's there for the 7th inning in the postgame.
You know what? As pro as Jack is, he probably changed suits from here to there.
You know what? Huh? He might have. He might have. Ben Rice going to lead off. Ford scoreboard, Yankees lead 4-2. Let me throw this one at you about Dominguez. He comes in. He's talking to one of the athletic trainers. Could he have rung his bell by hitting the back of his helmet?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it looked like it kind of just, the bat grazed it and kind of knocked it forward.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, you know, when you're that pumped up, you wouldn't know if anything hurt anyway, believe me.
The 1-1. 2-1. Look at the little one behind Judge on the on-deck circle. Happier with the little stuffed toy or that
yeah, that's a toss. Well, he seemed to be staring at Judge more than the stuffed toy. So,
oh, what a play by Massey! And he takes a base hit away from Rice. Massey flashing the leather.
It's 102 off the bat. That's smoked. Excellent range. Outstanding play.
Well, that's going to do it for Zerpa. With Judge coming up, a right-hander coming in. April 15th, 1947, that man changed sports. He didn't just break the color barrier. He broke down the door for all of the greats to follow. These men might not have had careers if not for Jackie Robinson, some of the greatest players who have ever played baseball in the history of this wonderful sport, all made possible by Jackie Robinson, allowing people of a different color to play this game. And today, we honor him. Steven Cruz takes over. The right-hander against Judge. 1-0. Be the third game for Cruz. Cruz was called up Friday. Hunter Harvey went on the IL with a teres major strain. Judge 2 hits today against Waka, hitting .381. Three and 0. See if Judge has the green light here in the bottom of the 7th. It takes 97 miles an hour. And Judge walks, so on base 3 more times. He's on first with 1 out. That brings up Bellinger. Cody's struggling. 0 for 3 today, and he's 1 for his last 16 with 8 strikeouts during that stretch. It's really hard to judge Bellinger in the early going. He's been dealing with a back issue. There was the game that he missed because of food poisoning. So he hasn't really gotten himself going in a steady pace and obviously looking to find it.
Kind of another example about spring training numbers.
Yeah.
There's nobody swinging the bat better in spring training than Bellinger. And really, his bat speed, the underlying metrics are still there. So he continues to hit the ball hard and get good at bats. His numbers will be there.
2-1.
The more you break down, you know, if you put his average numbers and what he can do for this team defensively, I mean, he's such a good fit here. But there's always a little transition period coming to the Yankees, especially when you're playing in a stadium where, you know, in the city your father played, you know, and you grew up in the playroom.
Three and 1 on Bellinger. And there's ball 4. Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. And a quick trip out to the mound. Do you guys remember this day in 1998? The Yankees had a play at Shea Stadium because a beam collapsed at Yankee Stadium.
We played the Angels, right?
Played the Angels, and David Wells pitched well, and Darryl Strawberry hit a home run because it was at Shea Stadium. The apple started to rise and then went down very quickly.
Just took a peek, right?
Yes,
took a peek and went back.
Was that Straw?
That was
Straw. He went back down.
And here it is. He knew how to rise to the occasion.
We talked about that buggy whip swing he had, and there's the apple.
That was
not a minute.
Reverse.
I do remember that. I think we dressed here and just jumped on the bus and drove over there.
Yeah, it was like Little League style. He left your uniform on after the game, got on the bus.
Goldschmidt pops it up behind the plate. Fermin gives it a look. It's out of play. Now, speaking of that 1998 team, the Yankees against against the Royals in the regular season of late, they're 160 and 67. That's a .705 winning percentage, and if you work that out to a 162-game season, they won 114 games like you did in 1998.
That's pretty good.
High fly ball, shallow center. Garcia almost overran it. Out number 2. Hey, tomorrow night on Prime, watch Aaron Judge and the Yankees take on the Royals in the series finale. Don't miss a minute of Yankees coverage beginning at 6:30. Again, it's only on Prime. David, you look at the way Walker pitched. 2 outs, runner on first base in the 6th inning, and it looked like he pitched around Chisholm, and then everything kind of tumbled off the table after that.
Yeah, he got real deliberate. Was trying to kind of really start to spot his pitches.
So he loses Chisholm in that at-bat. Then he loses Volpe. Then they take him out of the game. He was pitching great up to that point.
It got to the point, if you look back at some of the Yankee hitters started to take that changeup that was close to the strike zone, and he started digging himself a hole. And like you said, Coney, he's not the type of pitcher that's going to give in.
No, Anthony Volpe had a good at-bat there, and that's the guy he wanted. Walker pitched around Chisholm to get to Volpe. I mean, veteran pitchers, you think like that. We saw Max Fried do the same thing. I can't give up a home run. That one mistake can ruin my day. One bad pitch after all that work to get to this point. And you can't help but start to kind of just guide it in there a bit, not worry about making a mistake.
And it does happen. I mean, look what happened to Rodon the other day.
Yeah.
He made that one mistake, and that's the game. You don't want to make that. You avoid that mistake at all costs. And sometimes you get too careful. 2-1 on Chisholm. 2-2. Strike 3. Chisholm down looking. So Cruz works out of trouble. Yankees strand 2. We go to the 8th inning. It's time for the All-State replay. How about these hands on Trent Grisham Jr.?
Well, the thing about Trent Grisham is that he's always had gold on that glove. He gets great routes, great jumps, and is so calm and cool and collected out there. Never panicked there.
Yeah,
Ran right to the spot.
Never looks like he's in a rush defensively, and that's hard to do. And when you get put in for defense, in my mind, there's nothing you can. You're supposed to make the plays. The only thing you can do is mess up, and it's just like pinch hitting. You're just coming off the bench to make a play like that. I mean, that was impressive.
1-1 on Bobby Witt. You think he's going handlebar?
A little butch wax on there, and if he's going to do that, right?
A little upturn there, right?
A little Raleigh fingers look.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
The further out there, the more you like things.
Yes. Got to blaze your own trail.
One-two. Fly ball right field. Judge back. Now comes in. Witt retired. 1 down. The Home Depot getting it done pitching matchup. Tomorrow, Chris Bubich has a great ERA, 0.96, 21 strikeouts in 18 2/3. And Clark Schmidt, his first start of the year coming off the IL. Last year, 2.85 ERA. Coverage will begin at 6:30 on Prime. Tune in.
Kind of jumped the gun with my tweet today.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're just giving people a head start, you know.
But I was wondering, I saw that, right? And I knew what happened. Now, what do you think is worse, what you did or Paul, the last Prime game, he sent the tweet out in the 7th inning of the game?
Well, I just wanted to make sure they were missing a good one. They better tune in. Forgot to hit send.
Michael, 2 wrongs don't make a right over there.
I guess not, as Pasquantino lines out to Grisham. All right, it's time to name that Yankee. Those are the clues. Now, I know it. I think you know it, David.
Yeah, it's Big John Mayberry, and he was awesome. Actually, his son, John Mayberry Jr., also went to my high school in Kansas City, Rockhurst High School, and ended up making it to the big leagues. But Big John was huge for the Royals back then. Power hitter, good eye.
Yeah, I don't remember the other teams, but I do remember I loved to watch him because, you know, he was kind of like the Willie McCovey type. When he got a hold of one, there was no doubt about it.
1975, he finished 2nd in the MVP voting. He was kind of a new school guy back in the old school because he had a great eye. He had 100 walks a year regularly.
The old days right there.
You get a bud when you hit a home run back then, huh?
Just had a quick cup of coffee with the Yankees. 15 big league seasons, 2-time All-Star with the Royals. In 1975 with the Royals, look at that season. He was the AL MVP runner-up to the Red Sox, Fred Lynn.
It was Freddie Lynn's rookie year, wasn't it?
0-2 on Salvador Perez. Weaver deals. Swing and a miss on the change. Weaver looking sharp. Retires Kansas City in order. 1, 2, 3. I wonder if he enjoyed that part.
It's for you, Michael.
Now let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. And who better to have the coverage cam on than Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Seminal figure in the civil rights movement, breaking the color barrier in baseball, opening doors for so many. And you had to find a player who had the patience and the fortitude to do what he did and also be a great player. And he covered all the bases. Volpe takes a strike from Evan Sisk.
I don't think you would have liked to face this guy.
Little sidearm.
Looking at that crossfire.
Yeah, that's
slinging it in there.
Some guys now are, yeah, much more fun in the booth than in the box.
Big walk by Volpe in that 6th inning. That was the last batter that Waka faced. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Anthony Volpe with a leadoff single. Yankees hockey jersey night is back for 2025. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 25th when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. First 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees hockey jersey courtesy of DKNY. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. They brought a couple up today, and they're really, really nice.
Kind of liking it?
Yeah. Well, since the Rangers and the Islanders season's over, that might be the only hockey we get.
I was going to say, there's no playoff hockey here this
year. Well, the Devils, they made it.
Didn't they do basketball jerseys last year?
Yes.
Hockey this year?
They got one coming out with Jazz. They got a basketball jersey coming out, too.
And here's the hockey jersey that they brought up to
it looks like.
Well, let's see up there.
If you're going to wear that, you got to lose some teeth.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
He goes around 2-1. Wells had that big walk in the 6th inning against Serpa, and that forced in a run. And then the bases clearing double by Dominguez down the left field line. Williams and Leiter. Volpe dancing off first. Well, this is a game plan you see all of the teams doing. You want to have lefties in the bullpen late in the game. You're going to bring in your lefties to try to counteract the Yankees' lefty-heavy lineup. Ripped. Foul.
Is this a situation where you just try to stay in there, Paulie? Keep that shoulder in, keep from bailing?
It's a sidearm. I mean, anything inside. He's had no problem getting to the inside pitch. But, yeah, you have to protect that outside corner from that delivery.
Swing and a miss. Gets him on the slider. One away. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Mohegan Sun. Something's always happening at Mohegan. By Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Untuck It. Find the perfect fit today at UntuckIt.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. So here's Trent Grisham. His first at bat since coming in to play center field. Paul, dig in.
Way down. Yeah, I'm bailing up here. But again, at some point with that delivery, you know he's going to throw a breaking ball that's going to go away from you. And that's the ball you really have to cover.
Two 2-0. Grisham's off to a great start. 343, 4 home runs, 10 ribbies. I asked Boone today on the field, I said, was there a concerted effort to get Grisham to swing earlier in the count? And he goes, no. Why? And I said, well, he's swinging at first pitches. He never did that. And he goes, isn't it about the same? But we have stats that say he's much different than he was last year. So he's come upon this himself. It wasn't something that the Yankees pushed.
He's much more aggressive. And, you know, getting off to a good start helps, too. You feel like swinging the bat.
And Boone puts a lot of the onus on himself. He said, you know, he didn't play a lot last year. He said, so he never really got into sync. He said, we never really got a chance to play him that much. And I think he is really dedicated to getting him in the lineup.
Well, I remember Meredith telling us about Grisham having a much better frame of mind this year, working with a psychiatrist or some sort of a mental coach.
Runner goes. The throw bobbled, or the pitch bobbled by Fermin, so a stolen base for Volpe.
Well, Volpe's second of the year. See, he times it. A good job by Grisham. Once you hear runners in motion, take the pitch, let him steal the base. Now much easier to score from second base.
And Grisham works a walk against a tough lefty.
You give Volpe credit on that one, too, because dancing around there distracted him.
Well, let's check out the upcoming schedule brought to you by your local Tri-State Buick dealers. Tomorrow's the finale of this series. It's on Prime. Then Thursday's on Prime as well, as the Yankees start 4 at Steinbrenner Field against the Rays. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be on Yes, the Volpe dancing out there. And the Yankees have a 7-game road trip that finishes in Cleveland on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, I think he was going on that pitch, Coney, and he just, you know, didn't time that little hop thing that he does. So he's trying to time him first. He got off too far.
You could hear the infielders were telling him to step off in the middle of his delivery.
One and one on Peraza. Peraza got the start today against the righty because of the reverse splits with Waka, because that would be a start against a righty that Oswaldo Cabrera would be in there. But again, it's the reverse splits that got him.
The numbers monster.
The numbers monster. Sounds like a broken bat, foul ball, and he did break his bat. He'll get another.
And certainly defense at third matters with Max Fried on the mound starting. It's not quite Andy Pettit-like, but you know you're going to get some action down there, and he did early.
Swing and a miss. Peraza down on strikes.
There's such a tendency, I know as a lefty, when you're facing a sidearm, or this is vice versa, to kind of dive. And you almost jam yourself because you're diving out at the arm angle, and you know, you're covering the ball away. But if it comes in on you at all, you kind of tie yourself up.
Runners dancing, both of them. And the pitch inside to Rice. And it's a balk.
Yeah, that's all on Anthony Volpe. I mean, this whole at bat, he has been trying to time that. I think he was going again, and it just, you know, he's not timing it. But he got a balk out of it.
They didn't come to set, right, David?
I think it might have been more of a flinch. That's a flinch.
Yeah, there's a flinch right there. That's a good pickup.
So second and third. The running game has really discombobulated Sisk right here.
And if you're Anthony Volpe, you might just take off down the line, try to make some noise, see if you can get another balk.
And he has some room to do that because the third baseman Biggio is way off the line.
If ever there was a time.
Yeah.
On Jackie Robinson Day.
Now, I believe there's just one ball. It's not 2-2 because the pitch that was delivered with the balk does not count. That was a pitch out of the strike zone, so I believe it's 1-2, yes. He's collecting friends, Judge. He really is. As Rice goes down on strikes. Yankees strand 2. We go to the 9th. They'll try to close it out.
It would be a real pleasure if Mr. Rickey could have been here with us today, but to the members of the family, my entire love and gratitude for the things that he's done over the years. And I also want to say how pleased I am that my family can be here this afternoon, and to thank baseball for the tremendous opportunities that it has presented to me, and also for this thrilling afternoon. I'm extremely proud and pleased to be here this afternoon, but must admit I'm going to be tremendously more pleased and more proud when I look at that third base coaching line one day and see a black face managing in baseball. Thank you very much.
Well, that was Jackie's last public appearance before Game 2 of the 1972 World Series, and he was in ill health, and he died 9 days after that appearance at the age of 53. If he would have lived till 1975, he would have seen the first black manager, Frank Robinson, player manager for the then Cleveland Indians. Devin Williams on to try to close this out. Starts off Massey with the ball, 1-0. (2-0). Massey 0 for 3. Yankees trying to nail down the win for the team and for Max Fried. Gets the fastball by him, 2-1. Drive to right field. Judge back. He's on the track and he'll make the play leaning up against the wall. Out number 1.
Well, Williams is going to learn that in on lefties when you're behind in the count at Yankee Stadium, not a good place to be. Aaron Judge able to pull it in right at the wall. Let's see. Off the end of the bat, just enough.
Here's Renfroe. And a strike. budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Williams pitched yesterday, 15 pitches, so in today. So Weaver's pitched 2 days in a row as well now. You know, each of Williams' outings have been a little bit sweaty, and I really truly believe that a generation of fans was spoiled by Mariano Rivera, whereas there was no sweat. It was easy. If he blew the save, it was going to be in a hurry, and most of the time he didn't, and it was in a hurry. And I think many fans think, well, that's what a closer does. Well, most closers are not like that. 2 or more batters reach base in 4 of the 6 games that Devin has pitched in this season. One and 2.
Imagine, Coney, and you can touch on your changeup. I mean, if you're talking about breaking balls, fastball, it's all your release point. Your changeup seems to me like it's almost more grip-oriented than anything, huh?
It's grip-oriented. It's being able to navigate that movement. Look at the tremendous movement he gets on that air-bending changeup. So being able to throw for a strike, being able to just miss when you're ahead in the count, overall command of that pitch.
Right back to Williams. He snares it. And out away. And after the final out, get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. Royals down to their final out. There's MJ Melendez. Clark Schmidt will get the start tomorrow. His first one of 2025. One and 0. Melendez with a home run against Fried in the 3rd. We saw Dominguez, who got the big hit for the Yankees, turned a 2-1 deficit into a 4-2 lead. And they've been protecting that since the bottom of the 6th inning. Strike away.
Right at the bottom of the strike zone. At 96 was his fastball before, and then a good changeup where you get the call, get you in a position where you can end this game right here.
An announced crowd of 41,601, most of them standing. The Yankees are an out away. A strike away. 2-2. Four 6-0 for the Yankees. 2-5-1 for Kansas City. From the first base side of the rubber, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. A W for the Yankees. They make it 2 in a row, 4-2 over the Royals. Jason Dominguez with the big blow, a bullet double to clear the bases and give the Yankees a 4-2 lead that they held on to for the victory. And that's Williams' first 1-2-3 inning of the season. Picks up his 3rd save, and the Yankees win again.
Honestly, I think this is one of their better wins of the season. Max Fried did a great job, and did he turn the corner tonight? Jason Dominguez, in my mind, he possibly did. A good win, team win for the Yankees.
Yeah, they came back and picked up their ace, Max Fried, who pitched like an ace. Luke Weaver, solid as a rock, and 1 1/3, and Devin Williams, easy peasy in the 9th. He's been waiting for that one.
We've got so much more to do. We've got awards to give out, and then we have the post-game show as well. Yankees win 4-2, 2 in a row against the Royals. Well, Paul, it's time for the Cadillac drive of the game.
Well, let's go back to the 6th inning. 2 strikes, double down the line, helmet off the head, but a 3-run double. That's a huge drive of the game. That's brought to you by Tri-State Cadillac.
I think you're going to like this, Paul. On a night that everybody wore 4-2, that was the score. 4-2.
Now that is nice.
Nice, right?
Let's go home with that, though.
Let's go home with that. You see all the particulars. So the Yankees beat the Royals 4-2, 2 hours and 29 minutes. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees wrap up the series against the Royals right here at the stadium. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Prime, with first pitch coming shortly after 7. Again, the final score. It's the New York Yankees 4 and the Kansas City Royals 2. For David Cohn, Paul O'Neill, and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by in our Yes Network studios with the post-game show. Guys?
It is great to have you with us on the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Middle game of this 3-game series. The Yankees win it over the Royals 4-2. A late rally, 4 runs. Jason Dominguez, a huge double, picking up his teammate Max Fried. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
A well-played game, a workmanlike win, and I think one of those wins, Bob, as the Yankees go forward in the season, they're going to harken back to this game because for a huge chunk of this game, Michael Wacha was shutting them down. Fastballs, changeups, they couldn't size him up, they couldn't do any damage, but in that 6th inning, they had a series of smart at-bats, and sometimes a smart at-bat means just not swinging at pitches out of the zone. The walks helped fuel that inning. The first run scored on a bases-loaded walk to Wells, and then you talked about that Dominguez at-bat. And I think what we have to point out, not only a 3-run double, but a 3-run double from the right side. Last year, he had 44 plate appearances as a right-handed hitter. He knocked in 3 runs. Tonight, he knocked in 3 runs with 1 swing, and Max Fried was smiling because he pitched like an ace. He was just waiting for that offensive support.
Yeah, to your point, great at-bats in that 6th inning, and all with 2 outs. 3 straight walks set the table for Dominguez in that 2-out at-bat. Let's take a look at our turning point of the game. Brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. So, Jack, let's go pitch by pitch on that Dominguez at-bat.
Yeah, Zerpa came in to replace Wacha. And you see Dominguez step to the plate. First pitch is going to be a slider. It's going to catch the corner, so he's already behind. Second pitch is a fastball that tails inside. So you see where the Royals are trying to pitch him. He gets a slider again. He's a little behind it, Bob, and he fouls it off. So where are you going to go with this 4th pitch? I'm surprised Zerpa didn't go slider. He came back with a fastball in, and Dominguez was all over it, ready to do some damage. The ball rolls into the corner. All 3 runners come around to score, and the Yankees took a 4-2 lead. One more look from the side. Dominguez has worked tirelessly to try and perfect his right-handed swing. He has not yet perfected not allowing the helmet to tumble off your head after you swing. But you can joke around like that after you have that kind of at-bat.
That was head-knocking, hot-rocking double that scored 3 and gave the Yanks a 4-2 lead. And Jack, underscoring your point, in his career against lefties, his first 28 games, just a couple runs batted in. That was 55 plate appearances. But tonight, 3 runs batted in. And then we should mention 2 good at-bats prior to that. So Dominguez with 3 big hits on the night.
Bob, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I've said this all season long. Just let Jason Dominguez play. He needs to get the reps. He's got the talent. He has the athleticism. It's just about getting more at-bats and going up there and feeling comfortable. I was out at the stadium today, and there was a lot of talk about Jason Dominguez because he had a solid game defensively in the outfield last night. Manager Aaron Boone talked about that. And then he turns around today, and it's a really strong game offensively. I think he understands how important he is to what the Yankees are trying to do this season. And, Bob, he turned 22 in February. He's still a baby. He's still a kid. He's still learning. But what he learned tonight is that when he goes up there in big situations, he's going to feel that he can come through. The Verlander home run to start his career, that's probably going to be tough to overcome or have a better at-bat than that. Tonight's at-bat, this is going up there, right, for Dominguez. Beside that, this was a clutch at-bat that got the Yankees a win.
You get a big at-bat like that and a big hit, you get the on-field interview with Meredith Marakovits. Here's Jason Dominguez with Meredith.
Jason, you came up to the plate in a huge spot there in that 6th inning with the bases loaded. You got down in the count to Zerpa, but managed to hang tough. Take me through that at-bat. What was your approach?
I mean, to that at-bat, I just trying to look for a good pitch to hit. For a pitch in the zone, I fell back a little bit, but I mean, I was looking for something out of it, and I get it.
You cleared the bases, and you did it from the right side. What does that tell you about where your swing is at from that side?
I mean, it's a relief because my right side has been kind of quiet lately, but this guy got one right there.
Well, it was loud right there, and you swung so hard in that one, you knocked your helmet off. Did you even see where that ball went, Jason?
I mean, I see it after, but even in that swing, when the bat hit me, I said nothing. I saw after while I was running.
You okay?
I'm good.
Hey, how much credit do you give to the guys ahead of you in that lineup, working those walks, being patient at the plate to put you in that position?
I mean, that's about it. Every guy in this right now is taking good at bat after good at bat, and when you do the things right, good things gonna happen.
Jason, appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Send it back to you.
Meredith, thank you. Dominguez also the optimum player of the game with his 3 hits on the night, and bottom of the 2nd. Facing Michael Wacha. Wacha been really good to this point, but he comes up with his first base hit.
Yeah, Wacha was featuring a lot of fastballs and a lot of changeups. That time it's a breaking pitch, the curveball that Dominguez is able to rifle into right field. He did get stranded, though.
Then bottom of the 5th, similar type hit. Gets a cutter, knocks it right through the right side. He's 2 for 2 on the night. Then the big one, obviously, bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, we've talked about this against Zerpa. It's a fastball that's up, and Dominguez beats Zerpa to the spot. It's a 3-run double. If you looked at the Yankees before the season began and tried to figure out who Dominguez could be, I called him the X Factor several times, Bob, because they know what they're going to get out of Judge and some of their other players, but what were you going to get out of Dominguez? And the early returns are looking good. He looks comfortable at the plate, and he's getting better in left field, as evidenced by the way he played last night.
Now, we mentioned this, Dominguez and the rest of the Yanks getting it going offensively and picking up their starter tonight, Max Fried. Let's take a look at his outing in our pitching decisions presented by Sage. 4th outing, Jack, coming off that outing against the Tigers, which he had 11 strikeouts, no walks, looking to build off that. And early on, looked like he was getting in a groove. 1-2 pitch, goes fastball there to Michael Massey to end the 2nd, or rather not end the 2nd, but Hunter Renfroe ends the 2nd there. Next batter, and then top of the 3rd, that's the lone mistake.
Yeah, MJ Melendez just crushes this fastball from Fried. A 429-foot shot. That gave the Royals a 1-0 edge.
After a 2-out infield single by Michael Garcia, the dangerous Bobby Witt up just goes gap right center. Garcia will score easily, that coming with 2 outs. Witt into 2nd with an RBI double. So the Royals have a 2-0 lead, but then Fried held it right there.
Yeah, Pasquantino swings over a curveball. I asked him at the stadium today, how are you going to try and figure out Fried? He said, you just hope he leaves something over the middle of the plate. But as we're watching some of these at-bats, there's Pasquantino again swinging over that pitch. Fried did not leave anything over the middle of the plate to him. He gets to the 7th inning, and he gets one more swing and miss on that curveball right there. A really solid outing, 6 2/3 innings. He was at 94 pitches when Boone went to the pen.
The off-speed stuff got really good in the middle half and end of the game. There's a pitch breakdown, JC, in 94 pitches, 41 four-seamers. Royals did go 3 for 10 against that. That's what they got the double and the home run off of, but he got a strikeout on that. 3 more strikeouts on that curveball. And again, that curveball and sweep are really ticking up mid-part and a little later in the game for him.
It's kind of interesting, Bob. Sometime before the game, you might happen to run into a pitching genius, a.k.a. David Cohn. We were talking about Max Fried before the game, and he said everybody talks about Fried, and it's almost they want to turn him into this finesse pitcher. He said this guy's throwing 95, 96, 97, and we saw evidence of that tonight, and we saw it during our highlights. When he needs to go and throw that four-seam fastball and get it into the mid-90s, he can do that. We all look for that curve because it's so rare to see a pitcher have the 12-6 curve. But I thought Fried features a lot of those pitches tonight. Melendez did get him, took him out of the ballpark. That's going to happen. But as the Yankees are moving forward, and they have some pitchers who are probably more of the 5-inning variety per start, the fact that, once again, Fried was able to get into the 7th inning, that will help the Yankees tomorrow and going forward as they're on a stretch of a lot of games and a lot of days.
Let's take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up as the Yankees win the game 4-2, win the series before they will close things out on Wednesday against the Royals. We'll hear from Aaron Boone coming up next.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. Is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Homegrown, the path to pinstripe is back for another new season. Catch the premiere episode and stream all 8 seasons anytime on the Gotham Sports app. Great to have you back on the postgame. Yankees win it 4-2 over the Royals. Max Fried picking up his 3rd win in 4 starts. And Jason Dominguez, as we've talked about, that big 3-run double in the 6th. And that is where the conversation begins with Aaron Boone in the manager's report, brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, when you see Dominguez have an at-bat like that from the right side and produce, just what does that tell you about where he's at right now?
Just glad that he could, get some results there in a big spot, obviously. Was he down 2 strikes? Yeah. I think it was 1, 2, or 2, like his takes, he never seems panicked or rushed. And that's one of the things you always like about him. So the situation's not too big for him, and got a good enough piece of it to get it over Biggio's head there. But obviously a really productive night for JD.
By his admission, he said he's been quiet from the right side and is hoping that changes. Do you think just one hit like that can kind of boost his confidence from that side a little bit?
I think it can. Look, I think as much as anything, it's an experience thing for him. Talk about the not having a ton of experience just with some of the things he's dealt with through the minor leagues. So that really shows up on the right side. He hasn't had a lot of right-handed at-bats. So I think over time that will improve, and I think he'll be productive from that side.
We had asked you about leaving him in late in games, and you said right now with your roster you want to utilize that roster. How difficult a decision was that for you to take him out for defensive purposes after going 3 for 3 and coming up with that big hit?
Well, I took him out because he lost his contacts. So, but still, when I have Grish sitting over there, it's not that hard. And then, and then the first play, Grish goes out and makes an unbelievable play. But so it's just part of how I want to use the roster here and let JD continue to get more and more comfortable. And but it was more as his contacts came out. I was right there.
Peter. Understanding he's obviously a really good pitcher, just what do you think has allowed Fried to fit in so quickly and I guess have such a strong start?
Credit to him. His investment from jump with everyone, with staff, teammates, people in the building that you want to get to know, and he's just been, really diligent and, I guess diligent in just getting to entrench himself in the organization. And, but credit to him, he's leaned into everything. I think we've brought a lot to him. He's like a sponge. He likes what you bring to him and just has an ability to discern things as well. But credit to him, like he's jumped in, from that opening Zoom call, he's been completely invested in, everything from the pitching, but to the relationship part of it.
Chris.
Just to clarify, Dominguez lost his contacts when his helmet hit him in his face, or was this?
I think when he was running.
Oh, running. Okay.
Yeah.
Greg.
Was that the best you've seen Devin tonight since he's been here?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's, even in some of the outings where he struggled, he's flashed all that. His, probably the consistent velo of the fastball was there a little bit more. I thought his stuff was good. I thought the last pitch was really nasty to finish it off. I thought Renfroe threw a pretty good at bat on him. Fouled off some tough pitches, got a good swing off that he just missed on a heater, and then stung one back to him that Devin made a nice play on. But so overall, I thought he was pretty sharp.
Meredith.
What did you think of Fried?
I thought Fried was really good. Melendez put a big swing on him, really good swing on him. Looked like probably a center cut heater. Just and then Garcia puts it in play, for the little dribbler, and then Witt got him for the double where it popped up. But in and around that, I thought he was great. More of the ability to beat you in so many ways. Like, I mean, I almost say it every time, but I'll turn to Brad, I'll be like, man, I would not have liked to hit off of this. Like, he's just, the fastball's cutting. He can add to it. He can rip a 95, 97 at times. The sinker's really good. So I thought, overall, he was really good. And, but they put two good swings on him in big spots to grab the lead. So, but I thought he was good.
Dave.
Was there a moment when you got out there, Aaron, that he thought he might be able to stay, or did he know that he was?
No, he wanted to stay.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I liked. I mean, because I don't think it was just him, the bravado of the moment. I think he felt convicted that he was going to get Garcia out, and I don't doubt him. But I just felt like, there, 2 outs into the 7th, I got Weave up there. Melendez hit another good ball off him and a couple walks. I just felt like I didn't want to get beat there on a really good outing. So I just felt like it was the right time. But, I probably could have left him too.
Anyone else? Thank you.
So Boone explaining a couple things there, and one was that during the game when Dominguez came out after getting that RBI double, some people were saying, why not keep him in? He said it was because of the contacts popping out. But having said that, Jack, Boone made it really clear when the season began that this was the process with Jason Dominguez to start things off. And at that point in time, it's Boone's job to win the game with the best defense out there, not necessarily throw a bouquet at somebody or make him feel good to put him back out there to soak up the crowd, because Jason Dominguez was already feeling that. He'd already done that by putting the Yanks ahead.
The way Boone is managing is telling you the way he thinks the Yankees need to assemble their team at the end of games. They are treating Jason Dominguez with kid gloves defensively, and there's nothing wrong with that. As you saw after he did make that switch and you slide Bellinger from center field to left field and put Grisham in at center field, look at the play that Grisham made. I'm not sure if Bellinger would have made that play. He might have, but it just proves the point that you're talking about, Bob. And that close of a game, as we're watching Dominguez head back to the dugout and then eventually find out that he's going to be removed, Grisham makes a spectacular play. So Boone actually did everything that you would want a manager to do. Melendez scorches this ball, and Grisham turns and hustles and makes a terrific play. He's got those 2 gold gloves. So do I think there will be moments this year where the Yankees are in a close game and Dominguez will an innings? Of course. He's ascending to that, but I do think that they want to bring him along in a certain way. I watched them take fly balls out at Yankee Stadium again today, trying to get better out there. I think they want to celebrate the offensive exploits, but sort of also remind him there's some work to be done defensively.
And by the way, he doesn't feel any less good about himself tonight. He basically won the game for the Yankees with that swing of the bat.
I thought if there was one moment or an early situation to leave him in, it would have been yesterday, because he did have 3 solid plays, including probably the best play he's made this season. But Boone stuck to his managerial book, what he has been doing this year strategy-wise, and he inserted Bellinger into the game. So We will see what happens going forward, but I do think the Yankees are being careful with how they handle Dominguez and understanding that one of their goals also during spring training, get Grisham more playing time. When he started games, it's worked out well. When he's been brought in for defense, it has too.
We got to take another break. When we come back, we got more clubhouse reaction, more game highlights coming up for you. As the Yankees, on a day in which Major League Baseball and the Yanks celebrate Jackie Robinson, they get a 4-2 win.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Memorable moments in Yankees history presented by Prevagen, made for your brain. And while this was Jackie Robinson Day, April 14th was the day that Elston Howard became the first African-American player in Yankees history. The catcher went on to play parts of 13 seasons for the Yankees. He won 4 World Series, and they retired his number 32 in 1984. Howard won the 1963 American League MVP after batting .287 with 28 home runs. He was a 12-time All-Star and a 2-time Gold Glove winner. Let's get to our game highlights on Jackie Robinson Day, courtesy of your local Ford stores and tributes around the majors, including the stadium. Jack, you were there. Not only 42 worn, but the blue 42.
Yeah, Bob, I walked into the Yankee clubhouse and I saw the rack of uniforms with the 42 on the back about to be distributed, and it just gives you a little bit of a chill to witness that.
Top of the third, this was just the one chill down the spine or up the spine of Max Fried. Royals have really hit home runs, but Melendez got him there.
Yeah, a 429-foot shot by Melendez, left on left. That makes it 1-0. Royals still in the inning after a 2-out infield single by Garcia. The incomparable Bobby Witt Jr. with the double. That's going to send Garcia around to score. It's 2-0 Royals.
All right, so Fried spotting him to 2 runs, but then settled in from there, top of the 5th, facing Garcia again. Gets ahead 0-2 and then just buries him, strikes him out on 3 pitches. Top of the 6th. He's going to sit down the leadoff batter, Pasquantino, with the inside sinker. And then bottom half of the 6th, Aaron Judge leading off the inning, and Jack yet another good at bat for the captain.
Here we're going to see him go up against Waka. This is his 2nd hit of the night off Waka. Massey ranges to his right and tries to make the play. Perez can't scoop to throw at first. It's an infield single.
So a couple strikeouts, but then 3 straight walks, and Zerpa giving up that double, the head-shaking double, head-rattling double to Jason Dominguez as his helmet comes off. It clears the bases. Yankees take the 4-2 lead. And then after the inning, Jack, we saw this, Boone going with the defensive substitution because, as he said, Dominguez lost his contacts running.
Yeah, the hot-hitting Dominguez takes a seat. The 2-time Gold Glove winner Grisham heads out to center field with Bellinger sliding over to left. And you know what they say, Bob, the baseball will find you. Well, the Yankees are happy when it finds Grisham. He races back right there to make the play on Melendez.
Let's go top 7 now. Fried still in there facing Fermin in a 4-2 game. Man on first. Great breaking ball. And he would later be pulled with 2 outs in favor of Luke Weaver, who looked very good.
Yeah, I think this was the best we've seen of Luke Weaver this year. He hit 94 on one of his fastballs. There's been talk about where his velocity is, but the changeup is always something that can get him out of trouble. He gets Garcia to tap out, and the Yankees get the out at second.
Took Weaver 11 pitches to get 4 outs, and then top of the 9th, Devin Williams coming in to close it out and look good.
Yeah, Williams did. Once again, look at the fade on that changeup. That's what he wants that airbender to do. That's what he needs that pitch to be. Williams now has 3 saves as a Yankee.
Let's cook up something special courtesy of Hexclad. Yankees are now 10-3 when scoring 4 or more runs, but this is their first win this season without a home run. They now have 19 series wins in their last 20 against the Royals by virtue of winning the first 2 over the last couple nights. And then they are 4-0, and Max Fried starts everything you want from one of their aces. We got to take a break, and when we come back, stick around. We're going to hear from Max Fried about his latest outing, picking up the win. He's 3-0 with a sub-2 ERA after the 4-2 win tonight.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Great to have you back once again on the WB Mason postgame. Yankees win it 4-2. We've talked about the impact Jason Dominguez had tonight, but Max Fried pitching another gem, 6 2/3 innings, allowed just 5 hits, 2 runs, and struck out 7 along the way. Let's hear from Fried now in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Max, what did you think of the job the offense did today supporting you in this one?
I mean, put together some really good at-bats against a really good pitcher and, just got some guys on base and, had a big hit when we needed it. Jason obviously coming through was huge. But, I thought it was just a really great team effort. The defense was incredible tonight. Good ABs, and bullpen came in and shut the door. So I thought it was a really good win.
You mentioned that defense. What did you think of the catch that Grisham made?
Huge. I felt like I kind of lost it there in the 7th, and that ball lands, and potentially, he was pretty aggressive trying to get to second. So potential of him scoring from first there, and so for him to be able to catch that, limited the damage, and being able to hand the ball off to Weave and have him be able to get out of that. It was definitely a big part of the game.
Even at that, Aaron Boone said you tried to plead your case and stay in there. How badly did you want to finish that inning?
I'm a competitor. I want to be out there, and I want to be able to have the ball and in the big moments. But at the end of the day, I felt like I definitely wasn't as sharp as I was earlier in the game. So at that moment, you respect what the decision the manager wants to make, but knowing that I want to be out there, and I want to be able to have the ball.
How much are you intentionally changing speeds of the fastball over the course of the game? Because it's kind of like sometimes it's 90, 92, sometimes you reach for the 96, 97. To what extent is that like reading swings or strategically based on?
That's just the way I've been since I can remember in high school. I think the joke was I was always like in high school I was like 85 to 95. So just being able to vary speeds and being able to have different velocities. Just understanding that hitting is timing. It's rhythm and timing, and if you can try to disrupt that and throw a couple different speeds on a fastball, hopefully I can get some weak contacts and get some extra outs.
You mentioned Jason. What have been your impressions of him as you've gotten to know him and be around him a little bit?
Extremely talented. He's young, but he works really hard, and to be able to be in this situation and take advantage of his opportunities. He's made some really nice plays in the outfield and learning a new position, and then also just taking really good quality at bats. You can see that he's making strides and growing every day.
Say are the biggest reason or reasons you've gotten off to this strong start?
I think I just have a lot of. I got great teammates. Been able to have a really good staff, and the organization's really welcomed me in and made me feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, when you have really talented teammates, you can trust them and lean on them, knowing that it's not all up to me to shoulder everything out on the mound and to be able to be okay with kind of dispersing it all. So for me, it's just being comfortable and just trying to compete and trying to win baseball games.
He did get you once there in that 3rd inning, the 1-0 pitch fastball to Melendez, just mislocation there.
Oh yeah, I pulled it and I left it down the middle. It was the same sort of thing to Bobby Witt. Just left it a little middle, and when you got guys that are aggressive and good hitters, they put the barrel on it, and you just tip your cap sometimes.
You've got Clark Schmidt joining the rotation tomorrow. I know you haven't been teammates with him yet, but you see anything in spring training or in the past that, what do you think he'll add to this staff?
I mean, haven't been able to watch him live, like you said, on from this side, but everything that I saw in spring, it was just, he's got really great stuff. I feel like he's got a lot of the same sort of pitch mix as I do, so he's able to move the ball around, have a lot of different speeds and, the different ways that the ball's moving and keep hitters off balance. And, I know he's really excited to get back out there and, help us out. We'll definitely take a talent like Clark.
Clark Schmidt will be pitching the series finale. As for Fried, he picks up the win in this one tonight. Jack, over his first 4 starts, 3-0, a 1.88 ERA. He's everything you want in an ace-quality pitcher, but everything you need in a season in which you lost your ace in Garrett Cole.
Right, he has been what the Yankees need with Cole not being there. You mentioned those numbers right there at the top of the rotation. He has been the pitcher that the Yankees turn to. And if you talk about why is he an ace spot, we can talk about the pitches, but we can also talk about the approach. If you are a pitcher, I don't care if you're 12 or 39, what he said during that press conference, hitting is about timing and rhythm, and it's my job to disrupt that timing. That is something that every pitcher in the world should want to hear and should adhere to, and because Fried has so many different weapons, that's when he does when he goes out there. Varies the velocity on his fastball, mixes in the curveball, works in some other pitches, reads swings, and just puts on a pitching class every time he's out there.
We got to take another break. More coming up here on the WB Mason postgame, recapping the 4-2 Yankees win against the Royals. And then Jack and I will look ahead to the series finale with Clark Schmidt on the mound, so stick around.
This is brought to you in part by FanDuel. All FanDuel customers can make every dinger on Tuesdays mean more with a profit boost from FanDuel.
Tomorrow night on Prime, watch Aaron Judge and the Yankees take on the Royals in the series finale. Don't miss a minute of Yankees coverage beginning at 6:30 only on Prime, and then post-game coverage on Yes immediately after. Our game summary for the Yankees' 4-2 win. Michael Wacha pitching well until things fell apart in the 6th inning when the Yankees scored 4 runs, 3 on the 3-run double by Jason Dominguez, who ended the night for 3 for 3, and Max Fried picking up his latest win to improve to 3-0. Let's hear from Anthony Volpe after the game.
Anthony, what do you think of the night that Jason Dominguez had?
Very impressive, but really proud of him, really excited for him, and excited for the team because he brings a lot to the table, and when he does stuff like that, I mean, it's going to be hard for us to lose games.
Kind of got excited when I asked him about getting a big hit from the right side. He had said that had been a little bit of a grind. When you see him do that, just how encouraged do you get moving forward, knowing what he's already doing from the left side?
No, I mean, I love his swing from the right side. I love his approach, and I think it's just, I don't really, off the top of my head, remember him getting that many at-bats, righty. So I think he really does a lot of damage, and like I said, I love his swing from both sides, and it was just a really good feeling knowing he was coming up in that spot.
He doesn't get to that spot if you guys aren't patient at the plate. Walk by you, Chisholm, Wells. Just what does that say about your approach and the way you guys were able to just kind of hang tight there?
I think we just trust each other, kind of up and down the lineup, and if they don't come to us and give us pitches, that's one of the things we really want to take pride in as a team is making the pitcher come to us, and then we work a lot on doing damage on pitches that we can handle. But I think that whole inning is just trusting the guy behind you and trusting the team.
What's it like playing behind Max Fried?
It's fun, but it's sometimes boring. No, but he just executes, and you see the swings, and these are really good hitters that he makes look really off balance. So it's fun to, I mean, 3 or 4 starts in, it's just fun to watch.
Somebody who takes a lot of pride in defense, that play that Grisham made right after coming off the bench, can you appreciate how difficult that is, coming cold and have a run like that right after coming in the game and make that play?
Yeah, I mean, I was joking with him. I was like, that's got to be the best player of his career just because of the circumstances of coming off the bench. And But I mean, that's what he does. He brings so much to the table for us, and then knowing him running out there, we have so many good options. But whenever he's in center field, you feel like even the hardest hit ball or whatever is going to be caught.
Time for one more break here on the WB Mason postgame. We look ahead to the series finale on Wednesday. Clark Schmidt will make his season debut. Jack and I will talk about that and get the Yes Press headline.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Yankees shooting for the 3-game sweep of the Royals on Wednesday. Your probable starting pitchers, courtesy of Nissan. It'll be another lefty for the Yanks to face Chris Bubich. He's allowed just 2 earned runs in 3 starts so far this season, Jack, but all eyes going to be on Clark Schmidt. After being stalled a little through spring training and having to throw a couple rehab outings, going to make his season debut.
Bob, I'm always the first person to remind everyone how long a season baseball is, 162 games. So I don't want to make too much of the 18th game of the season. But with that being said, Clark Schmidt coming back is instrumental to the Yankees in what they're trying to accomplish this year. They need him to come back, pitch well, stay healthy, and be someone who can bolster that starting rotation. Because, yes, Fried pitched well tonight. He has pitched well all season, but their rotation has sagged this season. They need somebody strong like Schmidt to come in there. Threw 61 pitches in his last rehab outing at Double-A, so he's probably about a 70 to 75 pitch guy for the Yankees tomorrow night. But his stuff looked very crisp. The fastball was up around 94, and the Yankees need him to come right in there and hit the ground running because they need strong starting pitching.
Another Yankees win, another Yes Press headline. The boys in the back putting the typeset in. They still do that, or they use a computer now? I'm not sure about what the guys are doing back there.
Well, tonight it was typesetting it, yes. I believe. I'll have to check with the union folks.
Right.
But
what do you got?
Tonight's headline is Jason is Fried's favorite Martian. As Yankees show
like that.
They can beat Royals.
I like that. My favorite Martian.
Got to sneak that in there for those who maybe know that reference. If not, you can Google it.
Yep.
And there's a singer named Lorde who people should have heard of, and she had a song about Be Royal. So we got to tie it all together.
Musical vibe, little old TV show vibe.
I don't know. Should we explain the headlines at the end, or should we just let them be themselves?
You explain them a little, and then let the people do some work.
Cookie Monster got a lot of applause online.
All right, well, that's good to know. We're going to go for now. We thank you for joining us, and we got a lot more coming up on Wednesday. Remember the game on Prime starting at 6:30 with pregame coverage, and then postgame coverage on Yes immediately after. What a day for the Yanks. Around Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson celebrated breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball, the anniversary, April 15th. And then by night, the Yankees beat the Royals 4-2 on the day that number 42 is celebrated. Have a great night. Look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday at 6:30. Take care.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.